everybody, Danny, Ryan, and Brandon of the SpiffyNeedleGeeks here. Sadly, no BJ. He is off doing things with his girlfriend.
Yeah, after taking care of something rather personal.
Yeah, he's got some personal things going on. So, yeah, boy missed E3.
Yeah, the entirety of it.
Yeah, I mean, he literally missed the whole freaking thing, So, sadly, he will not be here to share his thoughts and everything. I mean, I'm sure he'll catch up when he gets back home. But regardless, the three of us kept up with it the whole week, and,
Yeah, I tried to. Unfortunately, though, I had to miss the live goodness for, half of it due to work.
That's okay.
No.
But, but regardless, we're going to kind of handle this discussion similar to what we did last year, which, actually, if I recall correctly, I think our E3 discussion was actually the very first discussion that we had on this channel.
It was one of the first. It was one of the first, I believe.
I think it was one of the first ones that we had, and it's the only reason I just think that was because I remembered, Ryan, you tweeted earlier, I think it was today or yesterday or something, that our channel is now officially a year old.
Yeah, it was actually somewhere during midnight, and it's technically it was a day, a year and 1 day, if people want to get technical about it, at the time I tweeted about it. But yeah, technically, the SpiffyNeedleGeeks channel is a year old. So I'm just holy shit, time just flew by, and it's already been a year since we started this.
I know, where's the time gone? But yeah, man, thank you everyone who has been keeping up with our bullshit for the past year, and we hope that you continue to enjoy more of our bullshit.
Here's to another year of bullshittery that is the SpiffyNeedleGeeks. God damn it.
Yes. Yeah, man, raise your glasses high on that one. So,
I left my glass. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so let's just tackle this in the order of the conferences. Refresh my memory. What was the first conference?
EA, I believe it was EA.
Yeah. You're right. EA. Basically, EA. Honestly, there was, to me personally, I felt like there wasn't anything new per se. I mean, people can go ahead and say, "Oh, well, hey, they announced a new Titanfall 2," but it's I think they kind of already established a game like Titanfall 2, well before EA, not EA, E3 came around. So I think that was kind of already a given. Everything else on top of that, there was also Battlefield 1, where it's I'm pretty sure that was a title that was already established well before E3. It's it's another Battlefield game. But this time around, instead of making it a modern, futuristic kind of first-person shooter, they're actually going old school and making the story mode on it, based on World War I, stuff that happened in our history.
So are they actually following the continuity, or it's not just another
No, I don't know shit about Battlefield and everything, so I don't know what continuity there is to keep up with.
Yeah.
I do know though that when they actually announced Battlefield 1, I think a couple of weeks ago or something, everybody was taken by surprise and everything, simply because the fact that this is a first-person war simulator, but it's not a modern war simulator. They're not trying to do what Call of Duty has been doing. They're hey, let's go to World War I and actually use World War I technology, and that got everybody interested.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about when I mean they're actually following the World War I continuity, as in the actual event that took place in World War I, and not just making up stories like every other first-person shooter is known for doing.
I'm pretty sure if they say, "Oh, this is going to be based on World War I," it is going to somehow be based on the events that happened during World War I. Which, I too have not kept up with Battlefield at all, but even so, yes, I will give credit to where credit is due. At least they're making a minor change of pace in regards to this future installment of Battlefield.
Of course.
Because like ever since what was it? Oh God, I would say like 2006, I think, or something like that, when Call of Duty took that first step and be like, okay, all right, you know what? I think we're done basing our Call of Duty games on like World War I and II and I don't know, I think the Vietnam for the third one? I don't fucking know. And then it's like, okay, we're gonna make it modern warfare. And then spawn like, God knows how many modern warfare games, like, for the next several years. Yeah, it's actually a breath of fresh air for me to see a game like Battlefield go, like, take a step back a little bit. Just to change things up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, I don't keep up with War Simulator games whatsoever, so I am definitely the wrong person to talk to and everything, but I agree. Even I will admit, that's a huge breath of fresh air.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They did bring up some stuff in regards to Star Wars, but honestly, I think for the most part, they were just more so going on about like future add-ons that they intend to add towards these pre-existing Star Wars games that have already been out, like Star Wars: The Old Republic, Battlefront.
All VR experience, I believe, especially for Battlefront.
Oh yeah, they are making a virtual reality Star Wars game, aren't they?
Yeah, virtual reality was pretty big this E3.
It was.
Yeah, that's something I honestly was not anticipating. I honestly was not.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I wasn't really expecting it all that much either, but now, thinking about it now, it's like, well, for a while, even though for the most part they have been releasing a lot of demos with these demos or whatnot. I would think I would kind of expect something virtual reality related to pop up even at E3.
Yeah, even though actually I'm trying to remember if they did announce some kind of virtual reality tech for the Xbox, but I guess we'll dive into that later.
Right.
Yeah. As far as the EA conference is concerned, like, the only thing I really, honest to God, gave a shit about was if they were going to bring up anything new with Mass Effect Andromeda, because they announced it last year. So I was like, okay, it's been a year. You have not really brought out a whole lot of information, so I'm figuring, okay, next E3 we'll get a little bit more, and we got jack shit. I mean, it's like,
really?
It's like we still don't know, and we have like a basic plot synopsis. We still don't know. We have not seen gameplay. We have not seen races. We have not seen characters. None of that shit. So I don't know whether to take that as is Mass Effect Andromeda still so early in development that they literally have nothing to show for it, but they're whipping up trailers just to make it to be so everyone can be like, oh hey, remember Mass Effect? Yeah, that's a thing. It's coming. Like. Is it like that, or are they really trying to keep it under wraps and keep a lot of it as a surprise? I honestly don't know how to take it, but yeah. I would imagine that even despite that whole retake Mass Effect bollocks that happened after the third game came out, Mass Effect was a big fucking deal, for EA and everything. I mean, that was why the whole retake Mass Effect thing blew up to the extent that it did, because people cared about that series that much. So I figured that, okay, our next installment they would dedicate some time to. And to see that they're not, that's where I'm like, I'm not sure whether I should be worried about that or not. But regardless, it's like, okay, it's been 2 years now since you've announced that this game's coming out and you're not showing us anything. Come on.
Hey, this Mass Effect game is so early in development. For this little trailer that we whipped up, we decided to show you some behind-the-scenes footage of how development has been like.
I know, and it's like, the only thing that we know, at least as far as from what I recall, is like, what you call it, the human race, they're in like Andromeda Galaxy and everything, so they're trying to establish a new home, which tells me that Earth got seriously fucked after the whole Reaper thing, in 3, and, I kind of can't blame them. That was a massive fucking deal. So it's like, okay, we're in a new galaxy. Of course, we can expect to see new races. I don't know if that means we're just getting new races, or are any of the old ones coming back? Like, are we going to see the Quarians and the Turians and all of them? You know, I certainly hope so, because, my God, they had some really unique races, and I'd love to see them, you know, continue using them. And that's literally it. And at least from the trailers and stuff, I'm at least noticing that we're not seeing, like, weird green glowing patterns on them. So that tells me that the whole synthesis ending, which is considered the best ending, is not canon.
Oh, great.
So, you know, the big ending that, was a major source of, you know, controversy and everything with this whole retake Mass Effect and everything. It's like, nope, it doesn't count. So it's either the Control ending or the Destroy ending. I can't tell you which one is the canon one, because there's literally no way of telling, because we don't know shit about the story. But it at least looks like the best ending is not canon. But that's literally all that I could take away from what we've seen so far with the trailers.
That seems like a first, though, that a game that doesn't incorporate the best ending not be canon. I don't.
You think they would?
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know too many games. I don't know of too many games that incorporate the best ending not being the canon ending.
Right. But whatever. I mean, that's pretty much all I was really interested in as far as EA goes. It's like nothing else really piqued my interest. I don't give a shit about the sports games.
Yeah, it's like the rest of EA was just nothing but sports, and more sports.
Yeah, I don't care about sports. I don't care about
okay,
war simulators.
Well, actually, I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's like, I mean, yeah, granted, yeah, essentially the gist of EA was, yeah, they didn't show anything like that new per se. They just covered what they could cover and stuff that was already established. Yeah, like sports, and more sports, Mass Effect, Titanfall, all that stuff. However, there is one thing that actually surprised me a little bit when they were going on about like these sports games, more specifically FIFA 17. I'm pretty sure this may have happened like years ago in another sports game of some sort, but I probably wouldn't know because, yeah, I'm like the 99% of people that don't keep up with these sports games. But I was surprised, however, that for FIFA 17, they're actually adding in some kind of a story mode to it.
Like a career mode, or?
I guess, yeah, like a full-on story mode. Honestly, they showed a trailer for, like, the story mode for FIFA 17. And I'm just like, oh, okay, so I get to play, like, one of these inspirational sports movies that I see. Honestly, that's...
Interesting.
I mean, I didn't see anything bad with it. I can only assume it's rare for sports games that have their own story mode, so it's like, huh, okay, that's gonna be a thing. That's pretty cool, I guess.
Alright.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think with that, that's pretty much all we can talk about in regards to the EA discussion.
Right.
So a few hours later, we were introduced to yet another Bethesda E3 showcase.
And once again, there was really only one game that I gave a shit about with that conference, and that was Dishonored 2.
Oh, yeah, you know what? I never kept up with Dishonored 2 either, but honestly, from what I saw, the gameplay mechanics in that game look pretty badass.
It does.
I really like the ability where, what was it called, a shadow walk?
Mm-hmm. Well, that was like, because I loved the original Dishonored. I had so much fun playing it. Spoiler alert, I actually do intend on bringing Dishonored to the channel eventually. I just have not decided when to do it. But I will be bringing us some Dishonored goodness. But, so I really loved the first game. It was so much fun. So last year when they announced that, okay, we're making a sequel, it was one of those things where it's like, it was more of an announcement trailer. We didn't get a whole lot out of it. Kind of like what EA did with Mass Effect. But this year, Bethesda decided to actually show off gameplay and give us a little bit more of the story and everything, which is what EA should have done. But I'm beating a dead fucking horse here, so... But But yeah, I mean, it's like, it does look like, it is a direct sequel. It does star Corvo, who was the main character from the first game. It also stars, what's her face, Emily, I believe her name was. She was the little girl that we were trying to save in the first game. She's now a playable character. So it's like, all right. So I guess we can maybe we go back and forth, or we get to choose like 2 separate storylines or something. Like, I'm interested in seeing how that goes. But the big thing that I know, like, as far as, like, bringing powers and stuff into it, like, they're doing, like, a time rift thing going on.
Yes.
And I'm usually I get picky when anything tries to incorporate time travel, because that is a concept that is so easy to fuck up. But this is Dishonored we're talking about, and considering that this game includes powers such as teleporting and summoning hordes of plague rats to eat my victims alive so that there's no corpse to be found, sure, why the fuck not time travel?
There was the Shadow Walk, and then, yes, there was the whole time travel ability with, like, the pocket watch or whatever she was holding when they were showing it off at the showcase. It's like,
yes.
okay, so I'm in this building, right? And, oh shit, there's a guard standing right in front of me who has not noticed me. How am I supposed to get around it? Well, okay, I can't go up the stairs, I can't go around him or whatever. Well, maybe I should use this time-traveling pocket watch and time travel like 1,200 years in the past in the exact same spot where nobody was at. Just to move around him.
Yeah, it's like they're using they're using it more so as a mechanic for stealth. Because, yes, stealth was a major aspect of Dishonored. But it's like, So far, gameplay looks really promising. I love the idea of bringing Emily in. I'm really curious to seeing, what happens to Dunwall now. Because, I mean, yeah, the city was, not doing so good in the first game. So I'm really curious to see how it's recovering and all that other stuff. And it's like, so yeah, man, it's definitely keeping my interest. So I'm keeping my eye out on that one.
Yeah.
It's like I know Bethesda's also, these are the guys that are also responsible for the Elder Scrolls, and that's a series I've only gotten into recently, and it's pretty much, Skyrim was my gateway. So, I kind of didn't expect them to announce like, all right, here's Elder Scrolls 6, but, I think they did announce like a remaster of Skyrim.
Elder Scrolls Skyrim is essentially getting a quote unquote special edition, as it were. Not a legendary edition or anything. No, this is a special edition.
Yeah,
which you're absolutely right. It's essentially a remastering of Elder Scrolls Skyrim for current gen consoles. So yeah, you get to play a remastered version of Skyrim on your PlayStation 4 and your Xbox One if you want to.
Yeah, if you want to cough up $60 or something to get the same game again, because backwards compatibility is a bad thing now.
Yeah, I mean, like, thanks, guys, but it's like, I got my digital copy of Skyrim for free when I got a brand new Xbox 360 Slim back in the day, so, yeah, I'm good with that, and hell, I don't think I'm ever gonna touch Skyrim ever again. No offense.
I still come back to Skyrim every once in a while, and it's just, play around with different races, different classes, see just how far I can get with different combinations. I still come back to Skyrim every now and again. I've honestly only maybe beaten, like, the main story campaign, like, 2 or 3 times, but I've started multiple games, like, over and over and over again, just to dig around.
I'm still curious about Elder Scrolls Online, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I have not been keeping up with online. Isn't there another thing or something called like Elder Scrolls Legends or something that they announced?
I haven't heard of any other Elder Scrolls game past the online version.
Well, but, I mean, I don't recall there being like an Elder Scrolls Legends or whatnot, but Brandon, when you bring up Elder Scrolls Online, I do remember them announcing, I can only assume it was like another story mode or something like that in Elder Scrolls Online called Elder Scrolls Online: A Dark Brotherhood, where yeah, they in the trailer, yeah, you get to play as, I guess, a assassin, as it were, to join this cult or something like that.
The Dark Brotherhood is a cult of assassins.
Yeah, so...
yeah, so, I mean, that is a faction that, as far as I'm aware of, that has actually been a mainstay in the Elder Scrolls series. But it's like, yeah, in Skyrim, I mean, it's like, when you can do your quest, you can do side quests and stuff. So, I mean, it's like, you can join the Champions, which involves the werewolves. You can join, like, the Magic Guild, which is your mages and everything. You can join the Thieves Guild, which is honestly my favorite thing, because I had a blast doing the Thieves Guild stuff. Or you can join the Dark Brotherhood and do assassinations.
Right, yeah. I remember watching the trailer of this female assassin just killing everybody that she runs into, and I'm just thinking, okay, Ezio, I think you may or may not have some competition on you. Just saying.
Alright, but yeah, is there anything else as far as Bethesda goes?
Well, I believe they did announce, I don't know if this applies to Fallout 4, but I do remember that they did announce some future DLC that they plan on showing off for Doom, which is actually a game that I've been hesitant, I guess hesitant isn't the most appropriate word, but I've been contemplating about trying Doom out, but at the same time, though, I'm kind of trying to get myself into Overwatch when it comes to new first-person shooters.
Do it.
I will.
Do it.
But I mean, there was that. I believe they may have. This may be my memory being a bit fuzzy, but I think they may have talked about like some more add-ons in regards to Fallout 4. But I believe they did announce that Fallout 4 and Doom are also becoming compatible with VR.
Oh,
so that's gonna be a thing.
VR for Doom actually sounds interesting.
I was thinking the same thing. It's like, okay. So instead of trying to do like these glory kills with just a controller, now you can do glory kills with the VR headset. Yes. Oh, shoot. Going back to Dishonored 2, and something that I was going to bring up, I guess we moved on to Skyrim at the time. Yeah, like watching the Dishonored 2 trailer, it did caught my interest, and I would want to try out the first game. Fortunately, however, and I can only assume this will become a trend throughout E3, but they're doing this thing where if you pre-order Dishonored 2, you get a free digital copy of the first Dishonored definitive edition. So it's like, okay, if you're like me and you have a membership with Amazon Prime, you can pre-order Dishonored 2 for like $47.99 with a free digital game included. I'm like, okay, that is worth the $47.99. I'm taking that.
Well, all right.
Okay. Alrighty, so I'm trying to recall. After Bethesda, was Ubisoft or Microsoft next?
I think it was Ubisoft.
No, it was Microsoft, then Ubisoft, then Sony.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, next up was Microsoft.
Okay, I did not watch the Microsoft conference whatsoever, so I have nothing to say.
I saw a bit of the Microsoft conference. Really, the only thing that caught... Well, I know they talked about the new Gears of War game that's coming out.
Yes, Gears of War 4.
Right, Gears of War 4. I was thinking 4, but I didn't say it for some reason. I didn't know why. But yeah, Gears of War 4, that's definitely a thing. They actually did show off some gameplay of how Gears of War 4 is going to be playing like. In terms of what I believe is the campaign.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, unfortunately, yeah, like, the gameplay in Gears of War 4, I mean, unless if they plan on revealing some, like, sudden changes to the game mechanics of Gears of War 4, like, as the year rolls by, yeah, it looks relatively the same kind of gameplay as you would expect from the previous 3 Gears of War games.
Yeah, except for the fact that there's no...
Oh, what?
Except for the fact that there's a lack of big hulky men like there were in the other Gears of War games.
Are you kidding? They still have Marcus.
Well, I know Marcus is there, but I think he was the only other one from the previous games that was confirmed to be in Gears of War 4.
Oh! I thought you were just talking about like big bulky men in general.
No, I'm talking about like the whole squad that was in the past Gears of War game. Like I know Marcus is still a thing.
Yeah, like even with these new characters and whatnot, I'm pretty sure that all these male protagonists are gonna be buff.
Right.
But I mean, it's like regardless of like how the fucking the game mechanics in Gears of War 4 doesn't really seem all that different from previous installments. Honestly, I would still want to try to give it a shot because even with the similar game mechanics and whatnot, I have been following like Gears of War because of like the story behind it. So I would kind of see like what they have to throw in regards to the story for Gears of War 4.
Okay.
That and I get to hear more amazing voice performances by John DiMaggio.
That's not a name I'm entirely familiar with.
John DiMaggio. He's not only the voice for Marcus, but he also voices Jake the dog in Adventure Time, Bender from Futurama.
Really?
Yeah.
Waka, Final Fantasy X.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, that son of a bitch.
Yep. Exactly. But in which case, oh, God,
What?
Oh, yeah. There was one game that I remember they talked about again based on something that they announced last year. It was a game called Recore.
Oh, I remember. That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah, I can only assume it's like another, I guess it's like a puzzle / platformer or whatnot.
It seems like hardcore indie material.
Yeah, something like that.
Not saying that's a bad thing. I mean, there's been a lot of amazing indie games out there. Looking at you, Shovel Knight and Shantae.
Yeah, that or... Oh, God damn it!
What?
Oh, I'm sad.
What?
You mentioned indie games, and we're talking about the Microsoft conference. Even throughout that entire conference, I did not hear jack about Cuphead.
Oh, I'm sorry for flipping. I'm sorry for flipping out for a second.
We mainly got just yet another brief mention of the game, but nothing new was talked about.
I don't even know if it was a
release date or anything of the sort. So I'm still stuck with being like, oh, well, this game will supposedly be out in 2016. I'm like, God damn it, at this point, it is not enough. I need an actual date.
I don't know if it was even like I don't remember hearing a brief mention, but I remember seeing Cuphead, like, at the end of the conference when they were doing their compilation montage of all the games that's going to be coming out within the following years and stuff. And Cuphead was part of that montage, and we didn't hear anything about it. Now, Cuphead was actually a very interesting-looking game.
Yeah, I have been keeping my eye on that game ever since they first talked about it during E3 2014.
Yeah,
and they were going through the line of indie games. I'm just like, oh my God, the animation in that game, that is totally...
That is complete
legit
vintage.
And, what?
That is some vintage shit right there.
It's
is.
Great. It's great. I mean, I admit, it's like, yeah, I want to check out Cuphead. I even remember, like, I don't remember if it was the E3 last year or maybe the year before, but I remembered, I believe it was Gerard, the completionist.
Mm-hmm.
He did a video about E3, and one of the things that he said in there was about Cuphead, and I think it might have been last year, I think, when they had a demo that you could actually play. And he actually, and in this video, he was saying how he was just going to everybody saying, you have got to play Cuphead. Like, he said, like, this game is freaking great. Yeah, he's like, have you seen Cuphead? No? Go play Cuphead. Did you go play Cuphead? You did? Go play it again. It's like, He's like, yeah, I know he was really excited for Cuphead.
Oh yeah.
Cuphead looks really good. Like, I'm really interested to see what how much deeper they go into it. Like, I'm trying to remember how they explain how the story starts. Something about making a deal with the devil or something.
Yeah. They made a deal with the devil. Like, they gambled with him, and they lost. So in order for their lives to be spared, the devil was like, hey, you go ahead and do my bidding, and I may spare your lives.
Oh.
And that's how much we know about the story behind Cuphead so far.
Interesting.
I don't know if that's all that we're going to see in regards to the story of it. Maybe,
I'm sure it won't be.
Maybe, but yeah, even so, yeah, considering that literally nothing new was talked about in regards to, well, more specifically Cuphead, in regards to indie games, it's still really hard to say.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but anyway, back to Recore. Yeah, we got the first cinematic trailer during last year's E3, and then we actually saw gameplay for it. And it's like, okay, and from what I saw, it's like, okay, you know what? This looks rather interesting enough for me to add this to my Xbox One collection, because of what platforming they had in store for this title.
Yeah.
But all right, let's see. Oh,
if I may, real quick, shifting back to Gears of War for a minute.
Sure.
Yeah, they actually did announce something else involving Gears of War that a lot of people who are part of the FGC were. If you're part of the FGC and you played Gears of War, you'd probably be really happy about this. General Ram from, I believe, Gears of War 1.
What? Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, apparently, General Ram from the old Gears of War series is actually making a guest appearance in the Xbox One fighting game Killer Instinct.
Fuck yeah.
It's like, the slew of guest characters that we've been getting for Killer Instinct for Season 3. Like, first it was Rash from Battletoads, then we got Arbiter from Halo, and now we've got General Ram.
Three badass characters in this one fighting game.
Rash is great.
Including Volgor. God damn it.
Yeah, Rash is great. Like,
God, fuck. The more of these awesome characters that they throw into this game, I get more and more tempted to buy the game, but it's like, damn it, it's one of those games where I'm pretty sure I have to pay extra just to get these damn characters.
The game is technically free, but if you wanted to get like the complete edition for some of the games, like, I think they'd only cost like maybe $30 to $40 depending on what you're buying. All things considered, it's still not that much.
Yeah, compared to a lot of these other titles that have been announced or whatnot, I suppose. But even then, it's like, considering what they have been talking about, like, throughout all of E3 or whatnot, yeah, my priorities are...
Yeah, it's understandable.
It's not my biggest priority right now.
It's understandable, but although I will say, they did announce during E3 that if you own Killer Instinct, like in any way, shape, or form, General Ram, as of right now, is free to play.
Oh,
so you
nice.
so you could try out General Ram like right now if you wanted to. I don't know if they said that there's like any form of something that you have to do to get access to the character. All they said was he's free to use right now, so you should be able to try out General Ram right away, at least until his full release.
Okay, I getcha.
So something for any fans of Killer Instinct who are also fans of the Gears of War series.
Oh, that's right. Okay, speaking of fighting games, on top of new fighters being added to Killer Instinct, they did also announce a new Tekken game, Tekken 7.
Yeah, Tekken 7.
Which when we first saw the trailer, I just thought, oh shit, wait, so Street Fighter X Tekken was that good that it spawned a sequel? What the fuck?
No,
but no, that was not the case. No, I was like, what happened was, like, okay, we see Hiachi just minding his own business, and then Akuma comes in, and they start fighting, shit gets real, and I'm just waiting for it. I'm just sitting here waiting. Okay, so, alright, just lay it on me, Street Fighter X Tekken 2 or whatever. No, it turns out to be Tekken 7.
Yeah, Tekken 7 with Akuma as the guest character. Eat a dick, Capcom. I'm excited about this, but I'm only saying this because you shift Akuma into Tekken 7, yet we still see no sign of Akuma in Street Fighter 5. What the fuck?
You know what? That explains a lot, actually. Considering from all the shit that has been going on in regards to Street Fighter V, especially like since its launch, I'll bet you anything. Akuma heard the news and he's just like, no, screw this. I'm going to another series.
You can't say that. Like, I just find it really weird how Akuma, of all characters, was cut from the roster. I mean, I can't say he was cut from the roster because we're getting more characters in the future. We just don't know which ones, other than the first wave of DLC characters that we're getting right now. That being Balrog, Guile, Alex, Ibuki, Judy, and Urien. And we don't know what the second wave of DLC is going to offer. But as of right now, there's still no sign of Akuma in Street Fighter V, and I just found it really weird that you're cutting a character that's been in the Street Fighter series from the very beginning. Like, Akuma's been around since Street Fighter 2. Why is he gone now?
Yeah.
Well, isn't Akuma supposed to be, like, one of the biggest bad guys, like, along with M. Bison?
Yeah. Like, in Street Fighter 2, he was the secret boss. Like, M. Bison would normally be the final boss of Street Fighter 2, and if you pulled off some kind of criteria, I believe it was, like, getting, like, 2 perfects throughout the round. Before you get to the end, you actually do fight Akuma. But now they're actually switched. Like, they're actually going more traditional in Street Fighter V and everything. Considering Bison is the big major villain in Street Fighter V again. Like, it's not like Street Fighter 4 where it was Seth. It's not like Street Fighter 3 where it was Gil. They're actually shifting back to Bison. Okay. So
okay.
Yeah, but the fact that again, it's just weird that I don't know. Where's Akuma in all of this? And it's like, I don't want to believe that he just jumped ship and went to Tekken. Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we'll find out something when they release the story pack for, the actual story pack for Street Fighter V, which is coming out at the end of this month, actually, at the time of this recording, so.
No, but I will seriously laugh my ass off if that's how they're seriously taking this whole Akuma not being in Street Fighter V bullshit at. It's like, yeah, literally, Akuma is like, yeah, you know, I'm not gonna deal with this shit after this shitty launch. No, I'm going to a different series.
Yeah,
fuck all y'all.
Yeah. Shifting back to Tekken 7.
Yeah. Tekken 7, which even though I was not that big of a fan of Tekken 6, I am stoked that they finally are making a Tekken 7 because I have high hopes that it will be more enjoyable than Tekken 6.
Yeah, Tekken 7 looks really good right now.
Yeah, plus on top of that, much like Dishonored 2, where you can get if you pre-order now, you get a free digital copy of Dishonored 1. Yeah, same thing applies with Tekken 7. If you pre-order Tekken 7, you also get a free copy of Tekken Tag Tournament 2.
Which I already have downloaded.
I don't, so hooray for me.
Actually, Ryan, the thing about the whole Tekken Tag Tournament 2 thing, you don't have to pre-order Tekken 7 to, you don't have to pre-order Tekken 7 to get the game. Basically, the whole spiel was, if you're an Xbox Live Gold member, you can get it right now.
Oh, real? Oh, that's what they said?
Yeah, and yeah, if you download Tekken Tag Tournament 2 for free, if you're a gold member on the Xbox 360, it's actually compatible with the Xbox One. So you download it on your 360, you'll be able to download it on your Xbox One for free.
Oh, okay.
Like no pre-orders or anything required.
Oh, okay. I guess I say that because, spoiler alert, they do this, like, I think maybe 2 more times at the least throughout this entire E3 conferences, where it's like, okay, you pre-order this game, you get this game for free, and yeah, they do that quite a bit. So I thought they were doing the same thing with Tekken 7, but I guess not. I guess that's just the one game that isn't technically taking that route.
Right.
But whatever. And oh yeah, Dead Rising 4.
Oh yeah, they did announce Dead Rising 4, didn't they?
I just remembered the trailer like literally taking place during Christmas time. I'm just like, okay, I'm sorry. Wait, what is this?
I don't think I saw the trailer for Dead Rising 4 though, actually.
I tried Dead Rising 1 like a long time ago, but I just couldn't get into it. I contemplated about trying out Dead Rising 2 at one point, but Dead Rising 4 looks pretty damn fun, especially now that Frank West is back.
Oh, Frank West was in the last one?
Well, I don't. Well, I think in Dead Rising, I do not think Frank West was there in Dead Rising 3. I think he made a cameo as DLC in Dead Rising 2, but yeah, he was definitely the main protagonist in the first one.
Okay.
But I believe, yeah, Frank West is the main protagonist in Dead Rising 4.
Gotcha. Okay. So what exactly are they?
Like,
oh, I'm sorry.
So, if I may ask, the one big thing I've been hearing about as far as like the Microsoft conference goes and everything, what is this Project Scorpio or whatever it is that I'm hearing?
Oh, like what they're dubbing as the most powerful console in existence.
Oh, okay.
So
I remember hearing about that too, but I could not fully grasp on what exactly they were talking about, because I think while they were talking about Project Scorpio, they were also talking about the new Xbox One S.
Yeah,
which
the small
was
one.
The Xbox One Slim.
Yeah, the small as fuck Xbox One.
Which apparently, surprisingly, has 2 terabytes of memory as opposed to the original.
Right.
So they announced the slim version of what we've got now, and they announced the next gen.
Well, they say that Project Scorpio is going to be the console that can play, that it's backwards compatible with Xbox One and I believe Xbox 360 as well. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was they said. I know because we didn't really see anything on what the console was going to look like. We just know that it's a thing. And that's running off 4K gaming, which is like I think Xbox One ran on 2K. I might be wrong, but like
something like that.
Yeah, they're basically they're just giving us information basically about that this is going to be a thing, like what they're dubbing to be the most powerful console in all of gaming history.
Yeah, for right now.
For right now.
For right now. Not much has been said about it, so yeah, even they say that, but it's like, it's still, I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much like with the Nintendo NX. We know it's coming, we just don't know jack shit about it.
Right. Yeah, I'm still kind of PO'd that they now announced this slim version of the Xbox One, because I'm just like I still have the original Xbox One, I guess, if that's how you want to call it, the original. Nope. Anyway, so there's that, and I'm just gonna say the internal memory on my console is already nearly completely full. That it's like, oh, I had to get this external hard drive to get more memory. But then I see them announce this, I'm like, okay, so let me get this straight. You mean to tell me that if I waited long enough for this, I could have saved myself the trouble of getting this external hard drive, which is like 1 terabyte, and I could have like traded in my current Xbox One for this slim that was 2 terabytes? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, they kind of have a bad habit of doing that, where it's like, they have a bad habit of saying, oh, this is the in thing right now, and then not too long afterwards they'll announce like, oh, we got another system coming out, but it's just gonna have more memory.
I suppose.
Well, they gotta milk that money somehow.
Yeah, well,
yeah. I mean, I guess if push comes to shove, if I feel like I need to upgrade or whatnot, and if GameStop has like one of those deals where you trade in a console and you put that towards like a new one as like in-store credit or whatnot, I may take advantage of that, but only if they actually do some kind of deal like that. But it really all depends if I feel like I should need to switch over to an Xbox Slim.
Usually GameStop does do deals like that, but they don't offer like points or money or whatever nearly as much as what the console's actually worth.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
GameStop is fucking cheap.
So I've heard.
Right. That's
Yeah. No, I worked at a GameStop in the past. Trust me, they are cheap fuckers.
Right, that is true. Alright, so there was that, and then once again they bring up Halo Wars 2.
Oh, Halo Wars was the top-down version of Halo, wasn't it? Like the
like essentially a real-time strategy.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Like
strategy.
StarCraft.
Yeah. It's like, did Halo Wars do that good to warrant a sequel?
I believe so.
Huh. That's actually.
I don't know what the complete sales were. I didn't really pay attention to that stuff at the time the first Halo Wars was announced. I just remembered our good friend Devin, or Photon Priest, and myself. We played the shit out of that game in co-op. And at the time I was pissed off that sometime later they took away the Xbox Live features on that game, so we couldn't play co-op anymore.
Oh yeah, they've shut down a lot of stuff in regards to Xbox One. It's kind of sad, to be honest.
Oh no, this is an Xbox One.
No, I meant 360. Sorry.
This is a 360.
Yeah, I know.
So in regards to Halo Wars 2. I'm kind of hoping that they actually keep those Xbox Live features so that we could do some co-op in that game. Because I may not be like the biggest fan of real-time strategy games, even though, I mean, granted, I did try a little bit of StarCraft like way back in the day, but it's like even then I still had a pretty good time with what was shown for the first Halo Wars game, and I am anxious to see what they have in store with Halo Wars 2.
Well, all right.
Okay, so I guess that pretty much takes care of everything that we need to talk about for the Microsoft conference. So moving on to the series of conferences that went on during day 2 of E3, now we have Ubisoft.
And once again, it's a conference that only has one thing that I care about.
Oh really? And what might that be?
The South Park game.
I didn't see them talk about South Park.
Yeah.
Oh, are you seriously, Brandon?
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack in the comments for this, but I don't care about South Park.
Okay, neither does BJ. Anyway.
No, but I was like, but yeah, I had a blast with Stick of Truth. I thought that was a fun game. It was very funny. It was true to South Park and their humor. I still get a kick out of the show, So, of course, when they announced, I think they announced it last year, was when they said, yeah, we're going to make another game along the same lines as Stick of Truth, but instead of it just being like a big, giant parody of, RPGs and fantasy stuff, it's now going to be on superheroes. So I really can't wait to see what the hell they got to say about, superheroes, like the comic books, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean, they're going to go all nuts with it. And I'm especially excited because, unlike with Stick of Truth, where, you had Cartman as the wizard and you had, Kyle as, the king of the elves, and Kenny is, the princess who's just cosplaying as Princess Zelda.
Yeah.
It's these were all, unique designs for the most part. Cartman's, I think, actually did come from an episode. But everybody else, their designs were pretty much unique to Stick of Truth. But in this game, all the superhero identities, these have been established in the show. So, we know Kenny is Mysterion. We know Cartman is the Coon. We know, I think Stan's is called, Tool Shed or something. Kyle, I think, is the Human Kite. And, you have, all these kids have their own superhero identities, and they've been established several times. I think there was actually a 3-part, episode series that involved Cartman summoning Cthulhu.
Oh, no.
And he's just using Cthulhu to kill people that he doesn't care about. He used Cthulhu to kill Justin Bieber because he didn't care for Justin Bieber. So, and Cartman's whole thing was, he's the Coon. He's doing all this good for the world when in actuality, of course he's being a selfish prick because this is Cartman we're talking about here. So, I'm really curious to seeing, like, are they, like, okay, how much are they going to bring into this? Like, are they going to bring the whole Cthulhu thing into this? Are they going to bring Mint Berry Crunch and that whole timeline into this? Are they going to bring in the whole thing the whole plot line that they came up with is the reason as to why Kenny keeps coming back, even though he died, like, hundreds of times in the show's running, because they actually made a reason for it, and it ties into the goddamn superheroes. So it's like I'm curious to see, like, not only what new stuff they're gonna be coming up with, but I'm curious to see, all right, how much of the old stuff have they brought in, because they've already done this idea several times.
Right. Yeah. Considering that I too enjoyed Stick of Truth, like when it first came out, I was like, yeah, I even more excited about this game because, yeah, considering that they are making this about superheroes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's like, for me that was the big highlight, because it's like, I know, it was like, again, I know that they've been working on it and everything, so it's nice to see that they brought some more stuff to show off and everything, so that's at least good to know. And I think that's, as far as, I know, again, it's another one of those things where I know there was a lot that was shown off at the Ubisoft conference and everything, but a lot of it I just don't care for. It's like, I don't care about Assassin's Creed anymore. It's like,
really?
I played the first two. I got maybe an hour into Brotherhood before I got bored, and I have yet to touch any of the other Assassin's Creed games. I'm aware that there are some that a lot of people are saying are really good, but it's just Assassin's Creed is basically Ubisoft's Call of Duty. Every year we're getting another one. I mean, they just crank them out so goddamn quick that it's just like, I just don't fucking care.
Oh yeah, didn't they announce an Assassin's Creed movie?
Well, I mean, they did announce an Assassin's Creed movie in the works, but they did that way before E3 2006 was around.
I thought they mentioned it in E3.
Well, they did mention it in E3 again, yeah, and they brought the director behind the Assassin's Creed movie and asked him some questions about it. But that's just about it. Other than that, yeah, we kind of already knew that the Assassin's Creed movie was going to be a thing, like, many months ago, really.
Oh, not even. We've known this for years. It's like, yeah, we known that they had been working on an Assassin's Creed movie. It's just now we're starting to get details as to, like, what's this movie going to look like. So it's like, I guess they're that far along into it.
Well, they did say that, oh man, we got a lot of these stunt artists and to show us all of these parkour moves.
It's like, yeah, well, parkour is not going to do you much good if you have somebody like fucking Desmond dragging the goddamn story to the goddamn ground. That's like, no, I'm dead serious. It's like, I thought the first Assassin's Creed was okay. I really did enjoy the second one. And like I said, I got an hour into Brotherhood before I got bored. But the biggest complaint that I really had with it was I got into, like, Ezio's story. I got into Altair's story. Like, their stories, I got no problems with. It's freaking Desmond. He is so goddamn boring. And it's not even like he's doing assassinating or anything. I mean, it's like, we get the whole backstory with the assassins, and it switches back, and he's like, okay, I'm going to sit out of the Animus, go talk with my would-be girlfriend about some random bullshit that has, really has nothing to do with anything that's going on at the moment. Then he goes back into the pod, and then we go back to the assassin. It's like, it's such a fucking pace breaker. I hated the stuff with Desmond. So I really don't know how they're going to handle it in the movie, because it's like, again, you can really get into the whole assassin stuff, because with all the parkour and everything, it's like, yeah, that shit'll be cool. But having to constantly go back and forth between that and your, I guess what you can call your modern assassin, who does nothing but sit in a pod and talk, I'm sorry, that's going to be fucking boring to watch. It's boring to play. It's especially going to be boring to watch.
Yeah, I suppose.
We'll see what happens, I guess.
Oh, yeah. What was it? Oh, yeah. Yeah, and much like how every year they announce like an Assassin's Creed or whatnot, they also did announce another Just Dance game.
Well, of course they do.
Yeah. Unfortunately, like, unlike last year where I was all over Just Dance or whatever, I haven't been, like, too much into Just Dance, which is something I really need to get back into as a way to, get rid of all this fucking weight. But apparently they did... But apparently they did say that Just Dance 2017 may or may not be the first game to be announced, like, for the Nintendo NX.
Oh, God. They Just Dance seems to have been getting a lot of good reception lately, which is kind of weird.
It's a party game, and party games, regardless of whether you like them or not, they do sell well.
Yeah. And yeah, Just Dance being a great reception, because even though it is like a dancing game or whatnot, to me, yeah, even when you're playing it by yourself, it's still a lot of fun to play if you're into that sort of thing.
I know a lot of people are.
Right. Oh, there was one other thing that surprisingly caught my interest. When they revealed Watch Dogs 2. I remember, like many E3s ago, when they revealed, like, the first Watch Dogs, and everybody was going all over on how great that game looked and all of that. But then, it officially comes out, and it got, like, a lot of mixed reviews or whatever. But regardless of all of that, surprisingly, I never really got into the first Watch Dogs, because even though it looked cool and all of that, it didn't really catch my interest or whatnot. But then I see the trailer for Watch Dogs 2, and my thoughts have changed. Because of... Okay, I can only imagine, like, the main protagonist in the first Watch Dogs. He seemed like that more serious and boring kind of protagonist. All the characters that were shown in the Watch Dogs 2 trailer, they were funny as hell to watch. And then seeing the gameplay in action, it's like, oh, okay, this looks like an actually fun game to play. Now the question is, should I even bother trying to play the first Watch Dogs game or not?
Well, the thing that I've been seeing as far as reception goes for the Watch Dogs 2, and I think it goes back to... Yeah, what you said, when Watch Dogs was initially announced several E3s ago, yeah, that was the game that everybody was talking about, because, I mean, it was new, it was fresh, and it looked great to play, and then the game came out, and it was just met with a resounding meh. So now that Ubisoft's like, all right, we got a sequel, the general reaction I keep hearing, at least as far as, like, I guess, like, as far as some of the bigger name people, like, I mean, I listen to Total Biscuit, I listen to Jim Sterling, I follow, like, a bunch of other people and stuff, and it's like, a lot of them were just saying, we're not gonna get hooked into the hype again for Watch Dogs, because that was exactly what happened. We got hooked into the hype, the game comes out, and we were massively disappointed, so, no, we're not gonna get hyped for this one.
Well, I don't know, that may be a different story with me. Maybe. I guess even so, I would probably have to at least try to get, like, a really cheap used copy of the first Watch Dogs game, if anything, just so I could see if this would have any relation to, like, the sequel coming up, like, if there's, like, any connections or anything, which I highly doubt, but, just so that I could get in on what I missed at the time.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I know, like, as far as Ubisoft goes, and it's like, I think, like, even, like, Jim Sterling even brought this up. I think this is actually how he started his overall impressions video when it came to Ubisoft, was he's like, I guess a lot of people had their hopes set that this was going to be the year that Beyond Good and Evil 2 would be announced, and nope, not a fucking peep. So, like, even Jim Sterling is like, yep, once again, we don't have any word on that game. And it's like, I don't know. I mean, it's like, I've played Beyond Good and Evil. It is a good game. I can certainly understand why a lot of people really got into it and have been clamoring for a sequel for years now. I sadly kind of got to be that person and just be like, you know what? If you're really holding out the hope, please stop. Because Ubisoft clearly does not give a shit about that game. I mean, that's like, considering how people for years have been begging for a sequel, if they truly cared about making another sequel, they would have done it already. But they are not. They clearly have no interest in it. Actually, I think it was around the time when Watch Dogs was first announced. I remembered Ubisoft came forward and they even said, we will not introduce new IP or franchises or anything, like unless we know that it can make a franchise. So, I mean, that's like Watch Dogs. When they announced Watch Dogs, they pretty much planned on this being a series. So it's like a sequel to Watch Dogs was inevitable, regardless of the reception it was going to get. But I mean, basically, they want their IPs to be like Assassin's Creed, where it's going to be like, we're going to just keep cranking them out and they'll guarantee money and everything, regardless of how good or bad they may be. And, that's kind of where I'm thinking, like, again, if they don't think that they're going to be able to do anything with Beyond Good and Evil and make that into a series, they will not fucking bother with it. So, I mean, I would like to see a sequel to it. Like I said, I thought it was a good game, but I am not holding out hope for it ever coming into fruition.
Right. It's like, look, at the end of the day, I just want a new Rayman game, like Rayman Legends. I don't care what the hell they have to do to make it happen, but I just want that shit to happen again.
Yeah, that's all, like, during the Ubisoft conference, that's all, like, the comment section in the Twitch chat sections would not shut up about, like, all they yelled in the chat was Rayman, Rayman, and Rayman. And personally...
Look, can you blame them? Rayman Legends was an insanely amazing platformer.
Well, yeah, which is why I'm saying we don't need another Rayman game right now.
No, we do.
Rayman Origins and Rayman Legends are doing good enough on their own to satisfy all the Rayman fans for a good long while. I think we can wait for another Rayman game.
No, I have waited long enough for a new Rayman game. It has been far too long.
Oh my god.
No, 3 years, man. 3 years. No. Honestly, I think it's been much longer than that, since essentially the game was released, I believe, in the early years of the Wii U. I just never got my hands on it until it reached the Xbox, or whatnot. So no, I think, honestly, I have waited long enough for a Rayman game like Rayman Legends, and god damn it, I want another one.
God damn
Like
it.
I said, I don't care what it takes to make it happen, I just want them to make it happen.
What else could they even do at this point? I mean, Rayman Origins was pretty much a retcon of the first game. So
Was
it's
it
like,
really?
Yeah,
Was it really a retcon of the first game? Or is
they
this
brought back the what were they? The fairies that spoke in Pig Latin, and then there was the I forget what the pink things were called. It's been so long.
Well, even so, it's like, they pulled a lot of stuff out in regards to Rayman Legends and whatnot. I'm pretty sure they could come up with more amazing content for the sequel.
Oh, I'm not saying they couldn't, but I'm just saying it can wait.
Oh yeah, says you, the guy who doesn't care so much about Rayman compared to me.
I didn't say I didn't care about...
Hey,
time out!
Such. We're getting off topic here. Rayman, even regardless, Rayman of any sort was not talked about on the Ubisoft. We're kind of getting off track. Let's move on to the final, the final conference of day 2 of E3, or more so the second to last conference, Sony. Probably once again, the most hype conference to ever hit E3 again.
I mean, for what it was worth, yeah.
It's one of those things where I know a lot of people, like, I know it's always a game that we always love to play on, like, who won E3, like Microsoft, Sony, or Nintendo, who won E3, and we get a different winner every goddamn year. It's a very, very tough call, but in all honesty, I kind of think Sony won this year.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying Sony took it.
And I think the biggest reason for it, and it's one, like, again, Jim Sterling has brought it up, Total Biscuit has brought it up, like, a lot of the big name people have brought it up, and they have a very good point about it, is you look at the other conferences, I mean, you look at EA, look at Microsoft and Ubisoft and everything. I mean, they're just, yeah, they show off a gameplay trailer here and there and stuff, and they just get up there on stage and just start talking. The Sony conference, on the other hand, they actually showcased more trailers and gameplay footage rather than having somebody stand on the stage and just talk about the game. It was very much a, we're not going to tell you about the game, we're going to actually show you the game. And I think that gave them the edge, because damn near every game that they presented had gameplay footage for us to see.
Right.
Yeah, case in point, the first thing that they showed off during the conference, which honestly took me by surprise, and I can only assume this is a reboot of sorts, but just from looking at, at least the first 30 seconds of this trailer, it's another God of War game.
Oh, yeah, God of War.
It's like, I heard some people call it Dad of War. I call it God of War Skyrim, because I swear to God, it just looks like Kratos just, kicked Dovahkiin's ass and is just settling in Skyrim. But,
yeah.
I mean, it's like, I don't know if it's a reboot or anything. I think it's a continuation.
I would imagine so, really. But,
yeah.
I mean, at the same time, though, I guess at the time I assumed it was a reboot, considering how many other games have spawned, ever since the first one. That, and I'm trying to recall, and forgive me if I'm wrong on this, because unfortunately, I have yet to play any God of War game. But from what I've seen in playthroughs and whatnot, the many God of War games that have been shown, they have been, I wouldn't say not so much free roaming, but more kind of like a beat 'em up, as it were.
Yeah.
But from what has been shown during this demo of this new God of War game, it's, I guess, in a way, kind of like a Gears of War, where it's more in third person from the side or something like that.
Right.
So there was a minor difference in how the gameplay was compared to previous installments.
Well, there is RPG elements being applied into this, because some of the things that they showed was, because, it was Kratos and this little kid, and they're going hunting. So things like tracking, you're getting experience just for tracking.
Just like in Skyrim.
Things. So it's, so I mean, it's like each little thing's different actions and stuff, you gain experience and everything. I mean, just like Skyrim. So it's it's definitely an interesting addition to it. I mean, I'm with you, Ryan. I have not played God of War. I have really been meaning to, mostly because my sister-in-law, my sister-in-law, she is a huge God of War fan. She fucking adores that series. I actually don't know if I don't think she keeps up with D3, so I don't think she knows that there's a fourth game coming out. I gotta tell her. But I guarantee you it's hey, there's a new God of War coming out, and it looks like he's taking care of a kid.
This is technically the...
Yeah, she'll probably go squealy fangirl just because she loves Kratos so much.
Yeah, this is technically the sixth game.
Oh God, I don't even know. I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah, there was a God of War game on the PSP, and then there was the one after 3, which was God of War Ascension.
Yeah. There are from what I've seen in GameStops and whatnot, there are a lot of God of War games, to the point where, thinking about it now, I completely lost track.
I think there's only...
I don't know how many sequels there have been,
6.
but it's you know what? I'll just take your word for it and say, yeah, screw it. There's probably 6.
Yeah, I think this is the 6th entry. If anyone out there is more advent in God of War than I am, please feel free to correct me, but I'm pretty sure there's 6. There was God of Wars 1, 2, and 3. There was God of War Ascension. There was the one on the PSP, which I think came before Ascension. I'm not entirely sure which part of the timeline that took place. And then we have this new God of War, which isn't numbered or anything, so which makes me feel like it's a reboot.
Yeah, but suffice it to say, it was a good way to start the conference,
right?
Because naturally that's going to get people's attention.
I still couldn't believe it was a God of War game at first, because it wasn't. When we first saw the trailer, I mean, yeah, we saw whoever, quote unquote, whoever this guy was, and it wasn't until the gameplay transcended further in that we saw a familiar look on the guy. He had the ghostly figure with the red streak on him, and that was the mark of Kratos. But it still didn't feel like a God of War game. So I was hella confused. And then during
oh no, here's the thing though. It's like we see the first cinematic portion of the trailer or whatnot, or like the first part of the cutscene where we see the kid grabbing the bow. And it was up until this, I can only assume it's Kratos. We see this Kratos figure walk out of the shadows, and that's when everybody in the crowd lost it.
Yeah, because ghostly white figure, red streak on the body. That's vintage Kratos right there.
Yeah.
Of course.
Actually, funny thing, like, the Sony conference... the night that the Sony conference took place, Brandon and I were actually on Skype with each other watching it together and everything. And it was like, we had the exact same reaction. We're watching this thing and we're like, okay, this definitely looks like it's got like a Skyrim vibe to it and everything. We got a kid, he's going to go hunting and everything. Some guy's talking, and Kratos comes out of the shadows. And Brandon, the both of us, did we not go, whoa?
Yeah, we did. We did. Like, there was no way. And especially going deeper into the gameplay, where it still did not feel like it was a God of War game, like the traditional God of War that we've all come to know in the PS2, PS3 days.
No, but Kratos, he's still doing, like, the crazy batshit insane kills and everything. So, it's like, you're still getting your violence.
Yeah, so...
Rest assured, it might be a different style of gameplay, but it's still going to be as bloody and glorious as the other ones.
What really gave it away was during that one boss sequence when you were fighting, and something like press L3, R3 to activate Spartan Rage. That's what really gave it away.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Well, it's...
Yeah.
Never mind the fact that, Kratos... But
that's just it. I know it looked like Kratos, and I didn't want to believe it at first because it just didn't. It didn't look like it was a God of War game. Is what I was getting at. It didn't feel like God of War, but they had to seal the deal with the whole Spartan Rage thing.
No, this Kratos-like figure couldn't possibly be Kratos. He has a beard in this game.
It's like, and the Blades of Chaos are nowhere to be seen. So.
No, but seriously, Kratos, don't shave your beard.
He actually looks way more badass with the beard, if I can say so myself.
Don't get me wrong. The goatee fits Kratos just fine, but it's like, I'm sorry, he looks a bit more badass with a full-on beard.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what am I looking at?
Okay, but yeah, suffice it to say, that was how the conference started. Was with God of War. We got this new game, Days Gone.
Oh yeah, another zombie apocalypse game.
Yeah. I was like, again, Brandon and I, we're watching this and we're like, what are we looking at? We were like, Brandon was saying Walking Dead. I was saying The Last of Us because it really did look like it could have been either or.
Yeah.
So I was like, we were like, what is this? And it's a brand new IP. So it's like, okay, we got another zombie game. Now, they end the conference with showing off the gameplay of Days Gone. They showed the trailer in the beginning, but they end the conference with the gameplay. And
can I say how much of the gameplay scared me?
You know what? I was gonna say the exact same thing. It's like, okay, don't get me wrong. I've had my fair share of zombie games and whatnot.
But these zombies know what they're doing!
Yeah, these zombies were ferocious compared to the other zombies I've seen in, like, Left 4 Dead or Dead Rising and whatnot. These fuckers were fucking fast and destructive.
They are running, they are destructive, they're climbing on top of each other to get to you, and I swear to God, it's like a fucking clown car. They just keep pouring through the door. It's like, this isn't like it's a group of 10 or 20 zombies. No, this is like hundreds that are gunning for you. And they're like climbing all over each other trying to get to you, and they're running and shit. It's like, these are some really pissed off zombies.
No,
and it's like no matter how many rounds of ammo the guy like lays onto this horde of zombie, it's not enough. And it's to the point where it's like shit. I'm shooting all these zombies. They're collapsing on the floor, but more just keep coming my way. Shit, I gotta reload it.
Here's the scarier thing. You see the guy utilizing the traps that are like the environment and the traps that are around him, like the flaming barrels and all the explosive stuff that's around the zombies, which do work effectively. But here's the thing: like I saw the guy when he was climbing up the barn house or whatever it was, and he was like heading out the window, creating a barricade of fire to stop the zombies from running through, and another horde of zombies just goes around the other side of the window and still chases the guy. These zombies are smart! These zombies are super smart, and it's super scary to think about.
It's like, oh my god, they're almost as intelligent as the Flood in Halo. All that's left now is for these fuckers to be shooting at your ass with weapons or whatever.
I mean, it's like, you got me curious. I don't play a lot of zombie games. I actually don't care too much for zombies, even just as horror monsters and everything. I don't quite care about zombies. But these zombies, you got me interested.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's amazing how it's like, because a lot of times, like, be it movies or games and everything, they always try to stay true to the zombie mythos, where it's like, they're slow, they're shambling and everything. They're walking, they're crawling and everything, and they don't really do anything unique with the monsters. They just, play it safe, I guess. So to see this game actually doing a ton of different things with these monsters, that's where it's like, okay, now you got me interested.
Actually making zombies scary. in a way you never imagined them to be.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then, so after that is, like, I even, like, posted this on Twitter. Sign of the Apocalypse. The Last Guardian has a release date.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, finally, jeez.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, the game that has been in, like, development hell for Lord knows how long, and it's actually, like, there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, we're actually getting this game pretty soon.
October of this year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's like, holy shit. Surprisingly, we still haven't seen a whole lot of gameplay and everything. I mean, it's like, we still see... I mean, they do make new trailers and stuff, but we haven't seen a whole lot of the gameplay.
Which means they're either keeping it a surprise or they're going to delay it.
Well, I'm thinking it's probably going to be more of a surprise because, like, I don't remember how they handled the marketing and everything when it came to, Ico and Shadow of the Colossus. I don't know how they handled that. Like, did they show off a lot of things as well, or did they keep it on the down low to leave it as a surprise?
Those are super old games, though.
I know, but still, yeah, that's how long it's been, But yeah, it's like, oh my god, we have a release date, so that's going to be coming soon. Then we have this new game, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I believe you're right.
The open world RPG. Yeah,
that's like, like it looks like, again, I keep going back to Skyrim. It's Skyrim with robots.
Yeah, Skyrim in the future.
Yeah, it's like
in a matter of speaking, I suppose. Yeah,
it's like this is like a very Skyrim-y year for me. I don't know why.
I guess it has some. I guess it has some similar elements to Skyrim, except Horizon New Dawn or whatever looks more fun to play.
Well, yeah. Well, it's like I said, it's Skyrim with robots. I mean, it's like, you're doing robots, you're fighting the robots, there's scavenging, there's crafting. So, if you, I don't want to say necessarily like along the lines of like Minecraft, but
not
even close.
No, I mean, there is a crafting system. It's not as extensive as Minecraft though, but I mean, it's like, you can craft, like, I'm assuming craft items, craft weapons, ammo, that kind of stuff. So it's like, okay, so RPG, exploration, crafting game. Okay. And I even, like, posted this also on Twitter where it's like, because they showed maybe, like, 15 minutes of gameplay. I mean, they showed a lot with this one. And it was like, the story was like, this guy was like, you gotta go to the village is in danger, you must warn them. So it's like, okay, we go, so, they show off the map, and there's your little waypoint, that's where you gotta go and everything, and she's like, alright, she's there, she reaches where she's gotta go, and it's like, yeah, let's go warn the village that is already empty. I don't know if that's a plot thing or something, but that's where it's like, yeah, we must save the village that has nothing in it.
The houses! We must save the empty houses!
Because that's where I was like, because, yeah, Brandon and I were kind of talking to each other and stuff as we were watching this, so for all I know, this could have been a plot thing that I missed. But, that's where I was thinking, again, going back to fucking Skyrim, this is the thing that kind of bugs me, though, is that, like, especially in RPGs where you build towns and you either have nobody in them or very little people, like, it doesn't really feel like a town. Whereas, take a look at the beginning of Skyrim, like, where you're about to be executed, the dragon comes in and just starts attacking, and you've got citizens running for their lives, you've got soldiers that are trying to fight the dragon, trying to get people to safety. I mean, it actually felt like this is a town under attack. And that's where it's like, I thought, Skyrim had a great beginning. So it's like, to me, that's where I was thinking, like, okay, we're going to be going into a goddamn war zone here. And it's like, nope, it's just another empty village. It's like, oh, really? But, like I said, maybe I missed something as far as the plot goes. Or, it's still early development. Things could change.
I suppose. Ever since they showed, the first trailer for the game and during last year's E3, I'm just at least grateful that they were actually able to show us some actual gameplay of Horizon.
Yeah, and it looks pretty good so far.
Oh yeah.
All right. Yeah. So then after that, the next game, and this is where BJ, wherever you are, I'm sure somewhere out there you jizzed because Quantic Dreams has a new game. And this is called Detroit Becomes Human. It kind of looks like Heavy Rain meets Until Dawn, and BJ loves both of those games. So as soon as they announced this game, I mean I immediately thought okay, if BJ was watching the conference, this is probably the one thing in the Sony conference he would give a shit about. But yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, it looks like, yeah, it's like, these are the same guys that did Heavy Rain, so, you know what to expect as far as, graphics and everything. I've heard Quantic Dreams with their stories are very hit and miss. I heard a lot of good things about Heavy Rain, but then what is it, Beyond Two Souls or something was their next one, and I heard that one was very meh.
Yeah, I sat through Beyond Two Souls. It was... For what it was worth, it was okay, but nothing nothing
groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Oh God, I could not fucking go really that far in Beyond Two Souls. Oh God.
I mean, yeah, it's granted, I wasn't the. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. It's I would try to get past this one tutorial portion of the game when I guess the main protagonist wasn't some boot camp and whatnot. But every time I fuck up, these fucking instructors would be getting on my ass about it, and I did not appreciate the tone they were giving me. So I'm just like, okay, fuck you and fuck this game. I am done.
But yeah, I mean, otherwise, I mean, it definitely looks interesting. It's like a sci-fi game. We've got I think our main character is an android or a robot.
Yeah, android.
And an android.
It's a cyborg. We call them androids. Well, good for you. You're wrong.
Okay, Team 4-star.
Yeah.
Sorry. You brought it up.
Either way, it's a robot, and it looks like maybe he's a detective of some kind. Because a lot of the things that it looks like he's going to be put into situations various cases or something where, yeah, I mean literally whatever actions you take determines the outcome, and you can get and you can get different outcomes depending on your actions, kind of like Until Dawn.
When they say your actions affect the game, this is one of those games where they go above and beyond that. Every single answer, every single response, every single action you take will have some kind of different outcome. It's kind of crazy.
Like the one that they showed was he was sent into like a hostage situation where like another android was holding like a little girl hostage at gunpoint. And it's like, okay, if you don't, one outcome is the guy pulls the little girl with him and they fall off the building to their death. Another outcome is, he gets the girl, we get the girl safe, but the android ends up getting shot and killed by the cops. So, I mean, it's like, it's that kind of thing where it's like, okay, probably give or take, like, whatever your choices are for dialogue with negotiations and stuff. I mean, it's like, you can get different outcomes each and every time. So that's where it's like, and if that's indeed the kind of game where we're going with and everything, then it's like, okay, this is probably going to be a game that I guess maybe warrants multiple playthroughs just so you can get, just so you can experience all the different kinds of outcomes.
Yeah, definitely.
And get all the trophies.
I mean, if you're into that sort of thing.
I kid.
All right, you're fine.
But
anyway.
Yeah, but that was pretty much like that one was interesting, and like I said, that's probably where BJ would, he'd probably cream himself, because he loves that shit. And pretty much after that, they dedicated a pretty decent chunk of the conference to talk about the VR, which, it's like, I guess now's probably a good time where we can talk about the VR stuff, because I think you guys said Microsoft talked a little bit about it too.
A little bit, but
they
wanted,
I think Microsoft, I think they briefly mentioned.
It was super brief.
You're absolutely right, Danny. It was the Sony conference where they got really more into the PlayStation VR.
Yeah, like we have like there's like I think there's a Star Wars game, there's a Batman Arkham game.
There's Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, that was actually how they opened the whole thing. Was they announced Resident Evil 7, which, again, Ryan, I wish you were there in the Skype call because Brandon was shitting himself.
Hey, we don't mention that here. We don't mention that here.
Brandon.
No, because it's like, but it was interesting because if you watched the trailer, there really was no indication until like you got the title at the end that this was a Resident Evil game.
No, you know what it was? It was the fact that it was actually scary this time.
Well, no, I mean, like to me it looked like it was like more along the lines of Silent Hill. Like, think like Silent Hill, if anybody's ever played Silent Hill 2, the apartments at the very beginning of the game, that's what this looked like to me. So I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool and everything. I'm a big sucker for this kind of shit. And then it's like at the end of the trailer, it announces Resident Evil 7, and it's like, oh my god, they're actually trying to be scary again.
Yeah. Again, that's what threw everyone off when we didn't know what the hell this game was at first.
Everybody got excited.
Yeah, everyone lost it.
Well, I mean, it's like, it's like, yes, I am a bigger Silent Hill fan than I am a Resident Evil fan, and I haven't played a lot of the Resident Evils. Most of the Resident Evils I played were the classic ones, like Resident Evils like 1, 2, I think the last one I played actually was 4, and 4 is arguably the one that started the whole let's go further away from the horror and more towards the action. But Resident Evil 4's action was so much fun that you forgave it. It's like I can forgive it being less scary because it was still so much fun to play. But then you had like 5 and 6, they became more of like zombie shooting action fests, and I noticed that I was like 5, people were like, yeah, it's alright. It's not as good as 4, but it wasn't so bad. 6, I heard a lot of really bad things about. Like, a lot of people were very disappointed with. And, it's pretty much after 6, a lot of people were begging, like, can you please bring the scary back? And it looks like that's what we're getting this time around.
Yeah, and considering that the whole PlayStation VR thing, or the whole VR thing was getting such a positive response out of a lot of people in terms of the PlayStation side, I guess they were thinking, yeah, this is where Resident Evil should go.
Well, it's like I don't know, like Resident Evil 7. I think it's gonna be like a whole nother console game in and of itself. It's just it will also support.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's what I mean.
It will support VR. This isn't a VR exclusive game because that would be fucking.
Yeah,
stupid.
of course. Especially considering what they're pricing the VR thing for.
Right.
$400.
Wait. Wasn't it 300?
There's 300 or 400. Either way, it's the same price as the fucking console itself.
I'm pretty sure it was 300. I might be wrong.
Yeah.
Regardless, it's really fucking expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could use that kind of money to get a brand new console with,
or build a powerful PC.
Honestly, I think it would cost way more to build a powerful PC, depending on how powerful you're wanting this PC.
Yeah. You know what I mean, though.
It's
still pretty steep.
Yeah, no, in that case, you're talking like $1,200.
I just checked it online. Yeah, it's $400.
Oh, okay, I was wrong then.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
But regardless, I was actually kind of surprised to see that they're diving headfirst into the VR thing. I mean, I guess the whole Oculus Rift thing was as big enough of a success that people are, they're willing to give it a try and push it forward and everything. And it's like, I don't have a problem with VR games. I actually would like to try VR games. It's just the Oculus Rift was ridiculously expensive. This is ridiculously expensive. So, I mean, it's just one of those things like, okay, I got $400. I can put it towards VR. I can put it towards a PlayStation 4. I will take the PlayStation 4 over the VR, but that's just me.
Considering you need the VR to even... Well, considering you need a PlayStation 4 to even use the VR stuff, right?
I suppose, but regardless, it's like, let me rephrase that. VR versus console. I'll take a new console over VR.
Yeah.
But, the thing is like, it's so goddamn expensive, and to be honest, from what I've seen, I think this is going to be the thing that's ultimately going to hurt the VR, is the pricing. I understand it's new technology, and it's very expensive technology. It's expensive to work with and develop and everything, but it's like, the only people that I've seen online that have the VR stuff is like people like Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, Peanut Butter Gamer, PewDiePie. These guys, they've got the money to spend on VR technology. Like, they can spend the money on Oculus and their games. Sadly, the rest of us don't have that kind of income. So
I think the bigger thing that's going to hurt the whole VR thing even... I mean, don't get me wrong, the VR concept is an amazing idea, but I think the whole thing that's going to hurt the damn thing even more is the fact that the VR system is optional. Like, the VR, what they're offering with the VR in terms of the games that you can play on it, it's not required to enjoy most of the games that you could just buy the console with separately and just play with a controller. Like, the VR is... with a lot of the stuff is completely optional. And the fact that it's priced so high for an optional piece of equipment, I think that alone is what's going to hurt it.
Right. I mean, it's like, price I think is going to be like its biggest hurdle. And like, of course, software. You got to think of, okay, what games are coming out with it. And at least the launch lineup, at least I'm assuming this is the launch lineup, actually looks pretty promising. I mean, you got Resident Evil 7, you have a Batman Arkham game, we've got a Star Wars game, we've got Final Fantasy 15 is apparently compatible with freaking VR. So it's like,
It looked really cool.
So, I mean, it's like, I'm assuming these are going to be the launch titles. So, if those are indeed the launch titles, I mean, that's a pretty strong pedigree for a launch title and everything. If they're able to keep that up and everything, then it's like, okay, that's at least one hurdle that they can easily cross. But again, it's the goddamn price. It's like, I don't think a lot of people are willing to shelf out $400
for an optional piece of equipment.
Right. Not right away they're not. That's where it's like, this is where I think the software is going to have to come into play. If they can continuously bring out games that are, critically successful and everything, and not just throw shovelware for the sake of having a fucking game library, if they actually have, like, good quality stuff, then you'll probably get some people turning around going, all right, let me save up my money and, okay, I'm willing to give this a try. But if this ends up becoming something where you've only got maybe like 3 or 4 good games, but the rest is shovelware, this thing's going to fucking fail.
We'll see. I mean, it does look promising. It's just, it's another huge matter of what else are they going to offer in terms of what it can do and how it will affect the console as a whole. So,
all right. Yeah, so that's pretty much as far as the VR stuff. And then they went right back into the games, and it was like the trailer that the next one I remembered. What was it? It was the new Call of Duty game, wasn't it?
Infinite Warfare.
Yeah, because we're watching. Again, Brandon and I are watching this trailer, and I'm like, "What the fuck kind of game is?"
Now I said it was Call of Duty.
And I'm like, no, this does not look like a Call of Duty game. This looks like it's a brand new IP. And sure enough, it's Call of Duty. And it's like, well, color me surprised.
I know.
I knew it.
That was my initial thoughts. I'm laughing because it's like, for the past several years, we've been having a lot of these fucking Call of Duty games being all modern and shit and, all of that stuff. But then we see this trailer and it's like, holy shit, it took these guys this long, but it's like, oh my god, they're actually making a Call of Duty game take place in space.
Yeah, it's like, I played...
It's like, holy shit, they finally took that step.
Yeah, it's like, I've played my fair share of Call of Duty games. I own Black Ops 3 and Ghosts. I know what a Call of Duty game looks like when I see it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so we got another Call of Duty coming along.
Which,
and then...
I'm sorry. It's like... Which honestly it took me even more by surprise, because usually whenever they would announce a new Call of Duty game, it would be the Microsoft conference when they would be showing off these Call of Duty games. But we didn't see anything Call of Duty related during the Microsoft conference this year. So having this trailer sneak up at the Sony conference only to find that, oh, it's another fucking Call of Duty game, it's like, yeah, that one also took me by surprise, alongside this space setting or whatnot.
Right. Yeah, and then it's like, I think that was actually close to the end, because there, at least for me, there's like two last things I think with the Sony conference. One that got me excited, one that pissed me the fuck off. So let's start with the one that pissed me the fuck off.
Okay.
They announced that they are doing a remastered collection of the first 3 Crash Bandicoot games.
Yes.
And yet, no gameplay, no trailers,
no screenshots,
nothing. They just had a guy on stage just go, "Oh, hey guys, we're doing this." It's like you fucking cocktease. You can't do that to us.
Well, it hasn't been in development yet, but hey, it's gonna happen. We're remastering Crash Bandicoots 1, 2, 3 from the ground up.
So what do they give us instead?
Well, it's like, I think they said they're gonna put Crash Bandicoot in Skylanders or something.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't give a fuck about that. Tell me more about this remaster.
It's like, they give us Crash Bandicoot.
The big thing at hand here.
They give us Crash Bandicoot on Skylanders of all things after they make this huge announcement that got everyone out their seats. Like people were cheering and going crazy before he even made the announcement, because you could hear the Crash music playing. You could see the guy walking on stage with the Crash silhouette as the shadow.
Yeah, I mean, it was actually really well done.
People were losing their minds.
It was like, it's been so long since we've seen Crash. Because it's like, I mean, he was huge during the PlayStation 1. He kind of, dropped off the face of the earth after, during the PlayStation 2 era. Nothing whatsoever for PlayStation 3. So it's like, okay, now we're on the PS4, and now he's coming back. It's like, oh my god, Sony, you actually remembered this guy. I mean, he was like your go-to, he was like your go-to mascot when you fucking started. So it's like, where the hell have you been?
Well, actually, Danny, funny you should mention that, how it's like, they forgot about Crash, but now they remember during E3. Well, they actually did kind of remember Crash. He just made a cameo in Uncharted 4, and you actually played a level in the first Crash.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
I don't know anything about Uncharted, so...
Oh, okay. Well, now you know. But no, it's like what pisses me off even more is that they show Crash Bandicoot being in Skylanders. And after they showed that trailer, I'm just thinking, okay, really, guys. Have you forgotten that Spyro was in Skylanders, and you didn't even bother showing off like a quick cameo of those two, like a cutscene of those two interacting with one another? Seriously?
Oh yeah, because
guys.
Because Spyro and Crash actually did have a crossover.
Hell yeah, they did.
I heard they bombed, but the fact of the matter is, it did happen.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but suffice it to say, we at least know it's coming. We don't know shit. All they said was, hey guys, this is a thing now. And it's like, you fucking dicks.
well, I mean, in that case, hey, better than nothing, I suppose.
Yeah.
Right, and, and then we get to the ending. And in all honesty, this is the weirdest thing. I mean, despite all the, despite us getting, excited about the games that they've shown so far, this was probably the one thing that everybody talked about afterwards.
Oh.
I mean, it's the way they closed the conference. And in all honesty, it's kind of weird because usually whenever, like I said, when we play the game of who won E3, and it's usually because, these guys are bringing out these games or something. I think this might be the year where it's like Sony won the conference not because they have a game, but because they have a certain developer.
Kojima.
The man himself, Hideo Kojima, shows up at E3 and goes, "Hello, I'm."
And then everyone went crazy. Kojima's a god.
Oh my god! It was like, especially after what happened to him, he really got dicked over at Konami. He's not the first developer to get dicked over like that. I mean, the guy that did Castlevania got dicked over. The guy that did Silent Hill was dicked over. Kojima was probably like the biggest named one out of all of them. It's the most recent, and it's pretty much the straw that broke the camel's back.
Don't forget Inafune.
Well, yeah, so basically it's like, So yeah, it was like, everybody, as soon as Kojima showed up, everybody was like out of their seats. They were screaming, they were chanting his name and everything. And, it makes perfect sense why he'd be at the Sony conference, because actually a couple of months ago, when he was officially released from Konami's clutches, Sony, I shit you not, within maybe like a week, snatched him up. They said, hey, if you build a team together and everything, we will fund your games and everything. So, so now we've got Kojima Productions. He's gathered a team, and they've already got an IP.
Mm-hmm. Death Stranding.
Yeah, and they showed that off, and it's like, it's one of those things, like, again, we don't, it's just it's like a concept trailer, no gameplay. We have no idea what the game is about. We do know Norman Reedus is in it, which, it's like, okay, he at least grabbed him from Silent Hills.
Wait, I thought, didn't he also play a character from the Walking Dead TV series?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing with Silent Hills, it was Hideo Kojima, Guillermo del Toro, who is a big-time horror director, and you got Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead. The three of them were going to be working on Silent Hills together, and then Konami completely dicked over the project. So it's at least good to see that, Kojima and Norman are still working together and everything for this. So that was at least nice to see. It's kind of hard to describe what the fuck the trailer is about, because it's like, Norman Reedus, he's like butt naked. There's like a baby or something. Like he gave birth to a baby or something. I have no fucking clue what the hell happened, but it looked awesome. It's like, it definitely looked like, it looked like something Kojima would make. Mm-hmm. It's like, we've seen some crazy shit that he's done in like the Metal Gear series and stuff. So it's like, yeah, this is definitely a Kojima game. But it's like I said, yeah. Kojima Productions has not been around for a very long time. I think only a couple of months. So to have gathered a team and to have at least whipped up a concept trailer in that short amount of time, I mean, that's like, my God, Kojima, you're a fucking trooper.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, and that was pretty much how they decided to close out the conference and everything. I was like, yeah, they showed off the zombie game that we talked about earlier, but even after that was over and after they showed like the ending movie and everything and the lights go dim, everybody is still chanting Kojima's name. So it's like, he clinched it. Like, right at the very end, it's like, oh, that's it. Sony won the conference solely because of Kojima.
Kojima's a god.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So it's like, yeah, the Sony conference, that was a lot of fun.
Oh, wait. Oh, God. Fucking damn it.
What?
What?
I just remembered something that pissed me off the most after the Sony press conference. And now I'm pissed off even more. Now it's come to my mind. Okay. Alright, great. We got all these great games and all of that. I mean, God of War, fucking Crash Bandicoot. I mean, okay, we got those. So there's A+ for you guys. But I have to ask, because I've been waiting too damn long, much like Rayman, where the fuck is Sly Cooper? I don't care if it is about the movie or a new game by a new developer, because Zora Games just fucked off from that. But no, I have to ask, where the fuck is my Sly Cooper?
Yeah, I was gonna say, he's working on it in a movie.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Supposedly, the Sly Cooper movie is supposed to be coming out this year.
Oh, yeah, that's exact. Yeah, like what they said, like, what, since the first trailer, and yet nothing new has been said about that movie. They're still thinking that it's going to be released sometime this year, but this year is halfway over. And yet we have yet to get any new announcements or any new developments regarding the movie. So it's like Blockade Entertainment or whoever the hell made that Ratchet and Clank movie. If you're seriously, honest to God, sticking by your word and making this movie, you fuckers better get cracking, because this year is halfway over.
Well, actually, hang on. Someone remind me how well the Ratchet and Clank movie did.
Not good.
That might be why this.
That's kind of where I'm thinking, because I mean, yeah, I actually went into the movies like the day that Ratchet and Clank came out in the theaters. I went and saw it, and oh my God, it was a massive disappointment. Like, it was, I had so much high hopes for it and everything, and just the fact that, you know, it was just a very meh movie. It did not impress a lot of people. A lot of fans were not impressed with it. So that's where it's like,
that might be why there's a delay with this.
Yeah, I mean, there's no word about we have had no developments with Sly Cooper for the movie, but we never got anything saying like they're canceling it either or anything. So for all we know, it could end up in limbo now or something. I mean, we don't know. But it's like, you know, yeah, I mean, if Ratchet and Clank didn't do that well, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, Sony is, like, you know, pulling back a little bit for Sly Cooper. Like, if Ratchet and Clank had done very well, I'm willing to bet we'd be getting some stuff about a Sly Cooper movie.
Okay, alright, when you put it like that, that's understandable.
Yeah.
But what I don't understand is why they're taking so damn long to make a sequel to fill in that Sly 4 plot hole that people like myself have been so irritated about for the past few years.
Well, that's because Sanzaru Games, they've flat out said they don't want to make another Sly game.
Well, okay,
they have no intention to do one, and that's why Sega grabbed them to make fucking Sonic Boom games.
Right, okay, I got that. But it's like, I don't care if, at this point, I don't care if it's Zora Games anymore. If they're saying, okay, well, fuck Sly Cooper, we're going to a much better series, Sonic Boom XD. Then it's like, you know what? I don't give a shit. You know what? Screw them. Just get another talented game developer, or better yet, get Sucker Punch back on that shit. Because I don't think they're gonna be doing jack with Infamous anymore. Ever since they released the last game, so it's like, I'm sorry, folks. I am just salty as hell.
Yeah,
Even now, we have yet to get jack shit about Sly Cooper, and yet, people have brought up to me saying, "Oh, well, Sly 4 didn't do so well." Yeah, well, okay, there is that. But you can't just leave a series like that on a fucking cliffhanger like that. You just don't do that.
If the game didn't sell well, you can. I know. It's like, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed Sly 4. It's not my favorite entry in the series, but for what we got, I actually thought it was pretty damn good. That being said, however, I also understand that it's like, yeah, if the game didn't sell very well, then they're not going to be in any rush to go back to it. It's kind of like with Nights in the Dreams and everything. You know, after Journey came out, and even though I didn't think Journey was nearly as bad as people were making it out to be, it did not go over very well. So of course, Sega is not going to bother with Nights anymore outside of, you know, throwing him in like, you know, friggin' party game.
Sega Superstars Tennis, Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only way you'll ever see Knights again at this point is in crossover games.
Just like it's the only way you'll see Daisy is through sports games in Mario.
Yeah. So that's where it's like it's really, really sad, but unfortunately, unless they manage to surprise me, but I kind of can't help but feel as if Sly's kind of going down that direction, and it's very unfortunate.
Fucking shit. Well, I'll still be waiting. I'm still gonna be sitting here, you know, waiting for that big announcement from Sony, being like, "Hey, guess what? Sly Cooper's finally returning with the sequel, or that fucking movie, or probably both for that matter." I'll still be waiting for it.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's actually move on to some happier things. So let's talk about Day 3 Nintendo Conference.
The conference that unfortunately I had to miss out on pretty much the majority of it due to work, but I was able to get it on some highlights that Nintendo uploaded on their channel.
Which was pretty much the majority of Zelda content.
Well, Nintendo like weeks ago pretty much said that with E3 they were not bringing a lot. They had, they're still working on the NX, so there's no new information regarding their new console. As far as like other games and everything, I mean, it's like I'm sure they had other demos and stuff on the show floor, but as far as like announcing new things, pretty much they just said, look, we don't have a whole lot to bring, but what we are bringing to show for our conference, there's going to be a lot to it. And it's pretty much Pokemon Sun and Moon and the new Zelda games. And let's actually start with Pokemon, because that one's actually relatively shorter.
Yeah, so, we can keep the Pokemon stuff brief.
Yeah, Pokemon, like the big highlight I think with the Pokemon bit was, they actually brought a live demo that and showed off what Sun and Moon is going to look like.
In terms of story, anyway.
Like, in terms of story, in terms of graphics, I mean, it pretty much looks like, it's picking up, like, similar style to X and Y. They are bringing the character customization thing, which I really enjoyed in X and Y, so I'm happy to see that that's coming back.
Yes.
I loved that. We saw a couple of new Pokemon, like, what was it, like Yangoose or whatever?
Yungoos, yeah.
Yungoose, that's where it's like, it's like, yeah, Zangoose, what?
Oh yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Isn't it? I think I know what you're talking about, because, like, wasn't it that, like that one Mongoose-like Pokemon with, like, the yellow hair on his head or something?
Yeah, with the massive teeth.
What?
With the massive teeth.
And the massive sharp teeth.
Oh yeah. So basically, the one Pokemon that everybody was thinking, oh hey, that Pokemon looks exactly like Donald Trump.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
that was a meme that spread out ridiculously fast. Like, yeah, somebody superimposed the young goose's head on the Donald Trump's face, and that just spread like wildfire. I mean, I really hate. It's like I try not to get involved in politic discussions and stuff because, oh my God, it's so nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
And it's like, But I have to admit that made me laugh.
Yeah, it was like the guy who made that resemblance. He wasn't exactly off base. I will give him that.
But yeah, and it's like also E3 is Team Poplio.
Oh God.
Yeah, because that was the start. They went with the water starter.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
it's like so it was like they didn't pick the fire cat. They didn't pick the owl that everyone was like, oh my god, best Pokemon idea ever. No, they went with the water starter that everyone made fun of.
It's okay. It's okay, Litton. I still love you.
But
I love all of them. Are you kidding?
Yeah, so so that one was pretty funny. Couple of other tweaks that they actually showed off was like when you approach a trainer, they a big thing that they said they're trying to do is they're trying to make everything cleaner, more streamlined, a lot easier to read and everything, where it's like, okay, I can see where you're coming from. So like when you approach a trainer, you'll see like shadow boxes kind of like come in. So it's like that's like your indicator knowing that, okay, you step in front of this trainer, you initiate a battle. But there may be an option like, oh, you can just walk around them and bypass it entirely. So they're giving you a visual cue as to whether you can fight this person or not. So it's like, okay, something simple like that, that's a nice touch.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Another little nice touch that I wanted to point out, which I thought was rather interesting, because I remember they were talking about this as they were playing the demo. Like, I think, based on what I've been I think they were talking about they were making like minor improvements to like the animations, especially with the character you control. Because I think you were getting into detail on how they were trying to make like the walking animation of the trainer more fluid as opposed to previous titles on the 3DS.
Right.
Yeah, like you would see like there was a segment where I think like the trainer, he's like walking up a hill and you actually see him like hunched over and like swinging his arms and stuff as if you're trying to climb a hill.
Yeah.
So it's like it's little subtle animation touches like that does actually make a world of difference.
Right,
and,
right.
I noticed that the backgrounds are getting a lot more detailed. It's not like, oh, it's just a static color or a gradient or something. Like, they showed off where I'm assuming this is going to be like your rival character or friend character. Like, there was like a festival or something, and it's like, okay, you're going to go battle against this kid. And even during the Pokemon battle, you see in the background, you see the people at the festival that are actually watching you fight. So it's like, oh, okay, that's a nice touch. Because, usually when you go into these Pokemon battles, it's the backgrounds are always so goddamn static and everything. So it's like, okay, you're actually going to, play around with the backgrounds a little bit.
Right.
And I know this is something that I commented on, and I think this is, this is coming from, my background when I was doing like graphic and web design, but the UI for the battling, it's really, really good in this game. Like, UI, that stands for user interface.
Right.
So the way the buttons are laid out, the way they are, you can read them very clearly. They stand out. When you select Pokemon moves, they will actually tell you straight up if the moves are effective or not. So it's like, okay, you don't have to like, you don't have to waste a turn and, PowerPoints and everything to, on a move that's gonna, do jack shit. Plus, it's like a good indicator, like, okay, if you're trying to catch a Pokemon, maybe you do want to use a weaker move. So that's a good indication. But I think the biggest thing that I really like what they're doing now is that whenever you do a status effect, be it you're raising or lowering stats, or maybe you're inflicting, like, paralysis or sleep or something, you'll see an icon show up on the touchpad that when you poke it, it actually displays all the statuses that are on that particular Pokemon. That's something we have yet to see.
Yeah, like you can actually tell how much stronger your Pokemon is if you do a move like Swords Dance or and when it greatly raises your Pokemon's attack power, or any move in general that would raise your attack, defense, special attack, special defense, or speed, you actually get an indicator on how much it's actually grown.
I think that's a freaking great idea. It's like, it's one of those things like, why the fuck haven't we had this yet? It's like, we're just now getting something like this. I mean, it's like, it's like, serious. No, I'm serious. I mean, it's like, when you start, training your teams and everything, and if you end up like, reliant on like, your stacking status changes and everything, it's nice to be able to see what the hell you've done.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's where it's like, to me, I think that's a great addition. And it's like, I'm trying to think, is there anything else that we can really talk about as far as Pokemon goes? Because, I mean, they didn't show off like a whole lot of new things.
I mean, they showed off the other two Pokemon. One of them was being the bug type, and we got an actual good look at the bird Pokemon that they teased when they first showed us that Pokemon Sun and Moon was going to be a thing.
Yeah, it's like what was it, like what looks like this game's Pidgey or something?
Yeah, I
forgot.
God!
And everyone in their grandma is going off the fact that this Pokemon looks like Pearl.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, this Pokemon looks like Pearl from Steven Universe.
Okay, I don't mean literally. Calm down.
Yeah. Oh god! And actually, you know what? I even like commented on this on Twitter, but I even remembered that like I guess when they were talking about like they were showing the scene like when you meet the professor and everything, and they were talking about how when this professor was introduced, how a lot of people really liked it, just like how this guy looks and everything. So they're just saying, like, this guy got, like, really, really popular and everything. And it's like, a lot of people really love how he looks and everything. He's probably, like, the coolest looking one yet. And I was like, I even just typed on, like, Twitter. It's like, Professor Sycamore would like to have a word with you.
Okay, calm down. Calm down.
It's like, I'm sorry, but, that kind of dandy elegance is hard to beat.
Oh my god, that's so great.
I mean, it's like, my god, that's like, you saw me geeking out over fucking Frederick and Eternal Sonata.
Yeah.
Yeah. We remember.
Oh yeah, how can we not?
But yeah, so, other than that, like, I think that's pretty much, like, the bulk of it. It was just more so, it wasn't a whole lot of, like, tons of new information, just so much as, hey, we got a demo that we're going to actually show this game in action. So it's like, all right, cool. So we got an idea of what this game's going to look like. So looks pretty promising.
Hold on, let's not forget the other big thing that they announced for Pokemon Sun and Moon.
What?
Battle Royale.
Oh, yeah!
Okay,
so,
I'm sorry. Yeah, this may or may not be something that I have missed when they were talking about Pokemon Sun and Moon. So, if for whatever reason I just completely forgot or just don't know, I have to ask, what is this battle royale?
You know how
four-way battle.
Yeah, it's a four. Yeah, it's literally like the concept that PokeTubers like do free for all battles with people on the Pokemon games. Now it's an official thing.
Oh fuck!
Yeah, you can have up to 4 people, and you pick like
3 Pokemon each.
Team, like three Pokemon each, and I mean it's just a fucking free for all. So I mean it's like you can go after. So I mean it's like we could end up. I mean that's like if all 4 of us got like Pokemon Sun and Moon and everything, we could do a free for all battle like the 4 of us.
Oh god. Okay, 4-way battle with all legendaries.
That is possible.
Oh no! Oh fuck! No, there again. 4-way battle, all Togepis, and just use Metronome.
Oh god.
Yes, we actually could do that now.
Yeah, we could. We actually could.
Yeah, nothing but Togepis and Metronomes.
Yes. That would be glorious.
Just gang up on BJ.
Guys, stop bullying me! God, fuck
like,
you guys.
He's like, this is for all the grief you give us in our Let's Plays, you bastard.
That's what you get for constantly being a backseat gamer in my playthrough, you son of a bitch!
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's catchy, yeah, Kate said, fuck you, metronome.
Oh my god.
Yeah. You see, PJ, this is what you miss out on.
Like giving me grief that I don't 100% my Let's Plays. We'll take this level 100 Togepi metronome.
You just hold the Togepi out like a little gun or whatever.
Oh, yes.
Alright, anyway.
But yeah, that was like, so yeah, that was probably like the last like big thing. I mean, that's like, to me, that's like, because when I saw, it's like, oh right, we have like free for all battling and everything. Because like, you know, all these other Pokemon games, they always have like other like side battle quests or the contests or that stupid fucking movie thing.
The Pokemon Studio.
Yeah, the studio and the Broadway play bullshit that it's like you do it
the
once.
Musicals.
Yeah, you do it once and you're bored. So it's like, you know, all right, this could keep me interested for hours. Alrighty, so I think suffice it to say that pretty much takes care of Pokemon. So yeah, let's spend the next hour talking about Zelda.
Oh god.
Because holy shit, is there a lot to talk about with this Zelda game?
I don't know. I mean,
okay.
I am super excited for what they've showed off so far. But in all due honesty, it's just been mainly gameplay. Like,
but even that has shown off a lot.
Yeah. Considering that everything that people have been seeing beforehand, like before this Nintendo Treehouse and whatnot, it's just been nothing but little teaser trailers here and there, and that's it. Hardly any gameplay has been shown up until now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so for one thing, we have a full title now. It's called Breath of the Wild.
Mm-hmm. Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, it's a fucking badass title if you ask me. No, I mean, it's like every other title, it's always like something like elegant sounding, like, you know, Twilight Princess or something. There's like, you know, Skyward Sword. It's always, yeah, it's like, you know, it's always got either like, you know, a whimsical, you know, elegant tone to it. Then you get Breath of the Wild, fucking hardcore.
Breath of the Wild things are.
But yeah, so I guess before we actually get more into detail, I want you guys listening to kind of understand, because one of the things that they did as they started showing the game off is they showed off the map, or at least what we could see of the map in this game. Now, they said the area that they were only going to show off at E3 was called the Great Plateau, and, you know, it was a pretty decent-sized area. I mean, you know, they were able to run around and, you know, get a lot of good mileage out of this area and everything. So it's a decent-sized area to be exploring and everything for this demo that they're doing at E3.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming anyway, this is going to be the starting area, and your starting areas are usually the smallest areas. And when they blew up the map, oh yeah, this area was tiny. So, tiny area that was actually pretty good sized, you know, that you can easily get lost in for a couple of hours. And other areas around you are fucking massive by comparison.
Right.
So, I mean, this game is gonna be huge. It's like, I can understand now why they've had to delay this so many times. I mean, it's like they are throwing a massive map into this game. And this isn't like in the other games where it's like, you know, okay, we go into Hyrule Field and then it's like we run around and, oh, there's a town, so let's, you know, fade out, transition into a new game map and everything, and oh, we're in the town. Oh, no, they're not doing that this time around. They pretty much have stated that this is going to be open field, open world, seamless and everything. So, I mean, it's like, you go from one area to another, there's no transition and everything. It is right there in front of you, and you can explore it. So, I mean, that's like, there's a lot of exploration. They pretty much said that's the biggest thing that they're trying to do with this game is You know, a lot of the other Zelda games, you know, they try and focus more on, like, a specific gimmick, where it's like, you know, Ocarina of Time was with the music and the time travel. Wind Waker was with the sailing. Twilight Princess was the wolf stuff. Skyward Sword was the Wii motion controls. A lot of them are based around a certain gimmick, and then they base, like, you know, the art style and the story and everything around this gimmick. So the thing with this game, they said, is we're just keeping it simple, and it's going to be all about exploration. But they also said the way they're going to handle things, they're going to break so many conventions with what they've established with Zelda. I mean, this is going to be... I mean, this will be... Provided that it does well, this could be a freaking game changer.
It could very well be.
Yeah, I mean, for one thing, they even said, as far as the story goes, there will be a story involved, but it's not going to be narrative-driven. This isn't going to be like, okay, you go to the town and, oh, go watch this sequence and go do this and then go to the next town and stuff. It's like, no, that's not how they're going to do. It's, the more you explore and everything, you'll actually uncover bits and pieces of the story. Like, it looks kind of like, you know, Link... The whole demo opened up where, like, Link was maybe in, like, a stasis or something, and I swear to God, my first thought was, holy shit, Link is in Final Fantasy X, because this was the Cloister of fucking Trials.
Oh, wait a minute.
And I was like, no. But yeah, so, like, Link wakes up, goes out of, like, his sleeping stasis pod or whatever, gets out of the Cloister of Trials, and then it's like, all right, you're out. Go do whatever the fuck you want. But, you know, of course there's going to be dungeons and places to explore and everything. And as you go and explore these places, you'll uncover bits and pieces about Hyrule. Because it looks like, you know, maybe this is like post-apocalypse or something. Because, I mean, we at least know, like, there was a kingdom. And something happened, and now it's all ruins. So... that's where it's... So, of course, I know people are already theorizing as to where in the timeline this takes place, and I was doing that too, because one of the creatures that we actually see that's going to be in this game are the Koroks from Wind Waker.
Yeah, I kind of lost it there. It's like, what?
It was like, oh my god, it's the adorable little Koroks. I love those guys. So now I'm thinking, okay, this has to be in the adult timeline, because... that was where the Koroks were. They were in Wind Waker. And, you know, when you know the lore behind Wind Waker and why the Koroks are the way they are, I mean, it's like, to me, it would be a big stretch to see Koroks showing up in another game, like, in a different timeline, considering how they were set up in Wind Waker. It's kind of like seeing the Rito showing up on like the same timeline as like Twilight Princess. It makes no goddamn sense.
That can't be a thing.
Yeah, but you know, so I don't know. I'm kind of thinking maybe this is somewhere within the Wind Waker timeline, which right now is just Wind Waker, Phantom Hourglass, and Spirit Tracks.
Right.
So maybe it's after Spirit Tracks or something. Maybe it's before Spirit Tracks or something. I don't know. But, you know, that's kind of where I'm leaning at right now. But suffice it to say, you know, we didn't get to see a whole lot of the creatures. I mean, of course, the bokoblins are back. And, you know, the chew jellies are back. So... the keys, it's like, you know, the typical menagerie of freaking monsters that show up in these Zelda games.
Right.
And it's like, one of the things there that we have is, they're kind of keeping up with, like, again, RPG elements, you know, kind of similar to, like, what they were doing as far as, Skyward Sword, with picking up your items and stuff, and how you can craft items and everything. It looks like we're kind of doing that same thing here, but we're going to do it a little bit differently. It's literally, you know, okay, you can pick up things like shrooms and apples and, you know, things like food that can actually help, you know, they can increase your health, or they can just be like, you know, stuff that you find in the forest. And it's like, oh, you're low on hearts, go eat an apple, and it gives you another heart back. So it's like, all right, you know, okay, that's awesome. You know, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because they actually did say that you can't cut through grass and stuff to actually find hearts anymore. You actually have to scavenge for stuff, which I think is fitting. Yeah. Which I think is fitting considering what they're going for with the whole Breath of the Wild concept.
Yeah, so yeah, no more mowing the grass for money and hearts. Those days are gone.
Like, you actually have to get out there and survive and make find your own food and stuff.
So we got that going for us. Another thing, I will honestly, when they started the whole conference, they started it with a trailer. So at first I was thinking, okay, maybe this is just something they're just doing because it's a trailer and they can get away with a lot more things. There's no way they're going to actually put this in the game. And then they show the demo, and it's in the game. We have English voice acting in this game.
It's like, the very moment I heard that, I was just screaming, this is not a Zelda game, no!
It's like, it's not just like, of course, Link's still the silent protagonist. He's gonna do his grunts and yells and everything. And it's like, it's like in Skyward Sword, like your other characters. Skyward Sword technically had voice acting. Twilight Princess technically had voice acting, but they were speaking they're speaking Hylian language, which is fucking gibberish to us. So it's like, who are we to say whether or not that gives a good voice performance, because we can't understand a goddamn word they're saying. This time around, though, we actually have one voice speaking in English, and I'm assuming this is our helper character, which we have no idea who this is. Like, Link has, this thing called, a Sheikah Stone or something, which looks to be,
I think they called it the Sheikah Slate.
Sheikah Slate, thank you. And it's like, it looks like it's going to be, his your go-to item. So it's like, he'll use it to, unlock doors and stuff in dungeons, certain power-ups and everything. So it's like, okay, this is going to be his big go-to item. But it looks like this voice or something is communicating to him through this stone. And, I'm assuming, anyway, it looks like this is where the helper character is going to be. So we do have some English voice acting. That completely took me by surprise, because for me, I don't see why Zelda can't be voice acted. I actually would love to see a fully voice acted Zelda game. I know a lot of people wouldn't, but I'm one of those people that'd say, it's like, you know what, bring it on. I would love to see it happen.
I think it would be interesting, but I think at that point it just would not feel like a Zelda game anymore.
Not you kidding? I may not be that big of a Zelda fan compared to you two, but man, I would certainly be okay with a fully voice acted fucking Zelda game.
Well, no, I'm not saying I wouldn't be okay with it, because I would be. It's just that ever since the NES days, we've gone through nearly every single Zelda game without any legit voice acting. So to hear voice acting now of all times is kind of jarring, to be honest.
I suppose, but it's like, I know for a lot of things Nintendo likes to stick to their guns and just stick with, what people know, because it's familiar and everything. Like, one of the things I'm seeing a lot of people getting pissed off about is that Link is a guy again. Because, that was a whole thing. Like, ever since they brought in Linkle and the new Hyrule Warriors, a lot of people were taking this as, oh, do we have the option of playing a girl Zelda? And it's like,
Girl Zelda.
girl Link,
It up.
girl Link.
The community is appalled. You messed it up.
I know, but here's the thing. Is like, Nintendo pretty much afterwards they said, we thought about it, but we ultimately decided not to, because a lot of their reasons, to me, I just felt like, I don't know, to me it just felt like they were looking for excuses to explain why they wanted Link to be a guy again, when it's just a simple answer as, we wanted Link to be a guy, deal with it. But apparently that's not good enough. So they were coming up with all kinds of excuses, saying it's like, well, if we're going to have a female hero, then why not just use Zelda? But then if we have Zelda being the hero, then what's going to happen to Link? I mean, we got to have a Link in the game, so what's he going to do? It's like, a lot of the reasons were sounding pretty bullshitty. But it's like, at the end of the day, that's just what Nintendo wants. It's like, whether you like it or not, guys, Link is probably always going to be a guy. I mean, the way that the lore is set up, it's very easy to have Link be a girl for one game. but I just don't see it happening. And if Nintendo just comes forward and saying, all right, we have a new Zelda game, and if Link ends up being a guy, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
You know, I'm just one of those people where it's like, you know, would I like to see Linkle being like, you know, the star of a game? Sure, why not? But I'm not gonna, like, you know, get all bent out of shape every time Link comes in and, oh, it's another boy Link. I'm not gonna get bent out of shape over it. Because to me, that's not what's important.
Of course.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, regardless, it's like, you know, fuck it. It's still going to be Link, with or without a dick.
Okay,
Yeah,
chill out.
But yeah, so it's like, you know, so I know some people are like, you know, pissing about that, but it's like, they'll get over it.
Yeah, sooner or later.
No, they will.
Yeah, you're right.
But, so one of the things that they were showing off is, like, you know, the ways that you can interact with the environment. Well, for one thing, Link can jump!
Oh yeah, another thing that just made me scream, this is not a Zelda game!
Yeah, so it's like, in Skyward Sword, Link learned how to sprint. In Breath of the Wild, he learned how to jump.
It took you it took you how many years?
Yeah, That's like
30.
Yeah, it's like village boy learns to jump.
Oh yeah, that's right. I have legs.
I mean, it's like, Link has jumped in other games, but it's usually like attacks and stuff. I mean, it's like finishing moves and stuff. Like in Twilight Princess, like one of his finishing moves, he like jumps, spins in the air, and just kind of like stabs, you know, right in the ground. But that's just like, that's combo attacking. I'm talking about you press a button and the boy jumps.
Well, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Clearly you can see Link jumping if you play him in Super Smash Brothers. God.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, that does not count. We're not talking about Smash Brothers. We're talking about the actual made Zelda games.
Yeah, I also don't think it should count that Link can jump in Link's Awakening and Minish Cap, considering you need items to jump in those games.
No, this is like, you know, this is like, from the get-go, the boy knows how to use his legs.
Right, so.
Like, yeah, so, I mean, he can jump, he can climb up cliffs and everything. You can roll boulders and stuff. Like, one of the things that they did, like, the guy did, I think, for fun was, he saw, like, it looked like a fire, like a fire pit or something that some bokoblins were using, and there were like some TNT barrels nearby, so he like set up this line of TNT barrels and then tried to throw like a stick of, like, he lit a stick with fire and he threw it at the barrels to blow them all up, and he ended up getting caught in the blast.
Oh God.
So that's like, you know, but hey, you can get away with it because, you know, it's his adventure. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can roll boulders around and, you know, like, you'll roll boulders and there's, like, an actual freaking physics engine going around. It's not like they're on a set path, you know. They will fall wherever you push them. You know, there's you can pick up, like, when you explore is how you pick up, like, your various equipment. So, some treasure chests may have, like, you know, your ammo, like, you can get arrows and everything. Some actually contain equipment, so you can maybe pick up, like, a new tunic or new pants, and this will actually increase your defense. Then you have your various weapons, so you can pick up a bow, you can pick up swords and shit, but there's also a freaking breaking system in this, so it's not like, oh, I picked up a new sword, I can go use it and everything. It's like, no, there's durability now, so if you use it too much, you run the risk of it breaking and it becomes useless.
Yeah.
You know. Huh. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, if you're not a fan of that kind of durability and everything, it's like, yeah, sorry, that is a thing in this game. At least probably until we get to the Master Sword.
Huh. Alright.
Yeah, it's like, I would imagine, I would certainly hope anyway, that the Master Sword does not suffer from durability.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's like Blade of Evil's Bane. It's like, alright, I hit a bokoblin, 1, 2, 3, break.
I thought it was the Master Sword, not a sword made out of wood. What the fuck? What is this Minecraft bullshit?
Right. But to be fair, even though there is durability and everything, there's no shortage of things. So, I mean, it's like, okay, if your sword broke, you can always, like, you can pick up a stick. If you beat up a Koblin and he drops his weapon, you can pick up the weapon. So, there's no shortage of items and everything that you can come across in this game. So, it's like, I think that's probably, like, the one upside to the whole durability thing. It's like, yeah, it kind of sucks that your weapons can eventually break, but at least there's no shortage of, like, backups,
Right.
Yeah, it's just a matter of just going around and just killing some shit and finding some things,
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's that. One of the things I think they showed off when you go into the dungeons, they showed off one of the, I guess what you can consider our magic power-ups. I think there are runes in this game. And the power that they show is magnetism. So you can pick up metal objects and, maybe they reveal doorways, or you can use them to, like, throw things at enemies. You can use them as shields, or probably the coolest idea ever, you can bring treasure chests to you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So
The Legend of Zelda, Days of Future Past.
Yeah, so it's like, there's a treasure chest. There's a big pond here with a treasure chest at the bottom and I can't reach it. Okay, magnetism, pull it up, thank you.
No, seriously, Link just became Magneto.
Yeah, so it's like, so I mean, that's the kind of, so I mean, it's like, and mind you, that was one power. And I think they even showed, like, after you exit the dungeon, I mean, there's plenty of stuff that you can pick up and everything. I mean, like I said, there's treasure chests you can pick up. Maybe there's steel columns running, like, somewhere in a ruin or something. You can pick that up and use it. So, once again, there's no shortage of things that you can use with these powers. And I think that that actually eliminates a major issue that a lot of these Zelda games kind of suffer from. And, like, Twilight Princess especially suffered from this, and that's dungeon-specific items. Like, I'm sure anyone who's played Zelda, especially Twilight Princess, where you pick up, like, an item in a dungeon, and it's like, you use that item heavily throughout the dungeon, but then once the dungeon's over, you seldom ever use that item again. I mean, it's like, in Twilight Princess, it was like the ball and chain, it was the little gear thing that you can sit and travel on, and it's like the iron, even the freaking, like, iron boots, which have been a staple in the series for a while. Even the iron boots, you don't really use a whole lot in Twilight Princess. It's like then you have, like, I forgot what it's called, but it's a staff that moves statues. You use that heavily in the dungeon. And then after that, I think maybe there's, like, 1 or 2 times you use it to get, like, a heart piece. And that's it. It's like, and it just sits there just in your inventory. It's like, yeah, I got this cool item, but I don't get to use it anywhere else. And it's like, that shit bugs the hell out of me.
Huh. Okay.
So I think with this whole rune system, and with the way that at least the game is shaping up, it definitely looks like, okay, there's not going to be, like, dungeon-specific items or anything. It's probably just going to be, like, powers or something that you're coming across. And those powers can easily be applied outside of the dungeon. So, yeah, so that's where I was like, oh, right, this actually looks pretty freaking boss. It's like, there is a mention of Ganon.
Oh, yeah, there is.
Is there?
Somebody mentioned Ganon. Like one of the people that Link talked to and everything is saying, like, you must hurry and you must stop, like, Ganon and everything. So it's like, okay, now all bets are fucking off here. Because it's like, when it comes to the timeline and everything, I mean, it's like, usually a lot of people, like, a good indicator, like, that people go by as to where a game falls at a particular timeline is whether or not Ganon is involved. And at least as far as the Wind Waker timeline goes, I mean, Ganon's in the Wind Waker, obviously. He's the bad guy. And then, yeah, he kind of took a sword to the head, got sealed into stone, and is kind of sitting at the bottom of the ocean. So it's like, yeah, Ganon's not in Phantom Hourglass or Spirit Tracks. Those are whole new enemies. So it's like, okay, if this game it does take place in the Wind Waker timeline, then it's like, okay, how the fuck did Ganon live? It's like, after Wind Waker, I mean, that fucker is dead. I mean, there is no way he's getting out of that. So it's like, so, you know, but then again, that's if this game takes place in Wind Waker. If it takes place anywhere else, then it's like, oh, well, now all bets are off, because, you know, Ganon just shows up everywhere.
Yeah.
So, it's, yeah, but we at least know Ganon is here. Because it's Ganon, not Ganondorf, so this is going to probably be Pig Monster Ganon.
Yeah, that's the first thing that came to my mind. It's like, when I think of Ganondorf, I think of, well, you know, probably was in Melee, and yeah, like in Wind Waker, per se. I hear just Ganon, I think, oh, okay, so he's in his pig form this time around. Okay.
If they're calling him Ganon, then I think it's safe to say, yeah, it's not going to be human Ganondorf, it's going to be Pig Monster Ganon.
Right.
Yeah, no word on where Zelda comes in, or any of the other characters. This is where I'm actually curious, like, this English voice that keeps talking to us. I'm like, who the hell is this voice? Because there's no indication. So, for all we know, it could be Zelda, it could be Impa, could be some new character, it could be a reoccurring character, again, depending on where in the timeline this falls. We have no idea who this voice is. But it's like, yeah, right now the only confirmed characters we know are Link and Ganon.
Right.
And Korok.
Oh.
Yeah. And random Korok.
Especially the Korok.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know, one thing I did find rather cool when they were showing off more of the new Legend of Zelda game, and it's a little feature that they showed off with the Wolf Link amiibo. You can actually transfer like the Wolf Link amiibo from Twilight Princess. Like say Wolf Link has like freaking like 7.5 hearts or whatever, and then you use the Wolf Link amiibo. You can transfer that very Wolf Link from Twilight Princess, and then add him literally into Breath of the Wild, and Wolf Link can actually travel with you throughout the game in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, depending on your progress in Twilight Princess HD will actually also determine how many hearts Wolf Link has as your companion.
That's how it works? Oh,
yeah,
okay,
it's dependent on the progress that you make in Twilight Princess HD. Like, if you beat the game and you, like, find every single heart piece and heart container in Twilight Princess, then your Wolf Link companion in Breath of the Wild will actually have a full set of hearts, like every single one that you can obtain in Twilight Princess.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Alrighty then. And it's like, yeah, I was like, another thing that they brought up is they're going to be playing around with the weather in this game. So, like, you know, as you're walking around, the weather may change, and that actually will affect your progress. Like, you know, yeah, Link can climb up a mountain and everything, no problem, in, like, you know, perfect sunlight and stuff, but if it's raining, he's going to struggle. Because one of the things they're bringing, they brought back the stamina gauge from Skyward Sword, which is like, okay, that's actually, I actually thought that was a nice feature in Skyward Sword, so to see that come back, I was like, all right, now I got no problems with that. But now they're saying it's like, you know, okay, yeah, you know, Link, like, if it's raining outside and everything, maybe it ends up eating up a lot more stamina for Link to complete a task because, you know, he's being affected by the weather. So now you have the option of, you know, okay, are you going to just try and, like, plow your way through, or, you know, are you going to just, you know, should you just, like, sit back and, you know, wait for the weather to pass, or do you want to go do something else?
Alright.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if they've mentioned it or not, but with that weather, I don't know, like, I would imagine it's random generated, but I didn't know, like, are they going to try and do something like, kind of like what Knight's Journey of Dreams did with their, with the My Dream thing, like, it was pulling from, like, the Weather Channel and everything, so that whatever your weather is, currently, is the weather that shows up in the game. I don't know if they said if that's the intent or not. I would imagine no. Because I would think they'd want to add more of that random factor to it. And if you happen to live someplace that's constantly sunny or constantly rainy, then it's like, okay, one person's going to have a harder time than the other if it keeps falling towards whatever your specific weather is. But I don't know if they actually brought that up or not.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. But suffice it to say, that is another addition that they are going to be pulling weather into that. And at least the example they brought up was rain. So Lord knows what for something like, say, snow or fog.
Or a tornado.
Right. What do you do about, like, raging winds? So it's like...
That would be rather amazing, actually, if they went so far as to implement that kind of, those kind of natural disasters in the game.
Yeah, so, I mean, hey, you never know. It's like, I would imagine they'd have to do something wind-related, because it looks like one of the items that they are bringing in, it looks like it's the step up of the sailcloth from Skyward Sword. Link pretty much has like a little mini hang glider in this game.
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing that.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm getting something to drink.
You're fine.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it looks like he's got like a little mini hang glider and everything in this one, which, like I said, seems to be like, the step up from the sailcloth. Because the sailcloth that just allows you to be able to, glide down from high places safely. But that's about it. There's not a whole lot of traveling or anything that you can do with it. But this one looks like you can travel. So maybe they're gonna do something. Maybe they'll pull something like with Wind Waker. Like maybe there's like areas where there's like strong gusts of wind or something that you can actually use, like, catch a breeze and fly somewhere. Like, I don't know, I think that'd be pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like I said, like, all of this is in a small area from what they've shown. So, I mean, it's like, other powers, other items and everything. We have no idea what they've got planned for these other areas out there and everything. So it's like, Nintendo, take as much time as you need. I mean, if you want to keep delaying this thing, please do. I mean, it's like, I understand now what you've got planned and everything. Take the time you need and really, really perfect this thing.
Oh no, don't tell them to do that. You're gonna piss off every other Zelda fan who is not as patient.
Anyway.
Yeah, they'll deal.
So, actually, come to think of it, it's like, I know they just showed, like, one little area, like, throughout the whole demo in regards to Breath of the Wild, but, like, didn't they mention that one area, that was, like, just a insanely small portion of the entire map, like, in the entire game?
Yeah, that's, like, the start. Yeah, Great Plateau is, like, the starting area. And, like, and mind you, after the actual conference, they had, like, the treehouse things where they just did, like, they showed off more of the game and everything. They spent hours showing off the Great Plateau. That's how, and that's kind of where I was saying was, like, even though this is probably the smallest area, they spent hours just thoroughly exploring this area, and this is the smallest one. So I mean, that's like, my God, you will get lost in Hyrule in this game.
Oh, so basically the map will be kind of, like, on the lines of Skyrim.
Possibly.
Maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's like, it's gonna be fucking massive.
Right.
But yeah, man, I mean, that's like, they did say that, this will be available on Wii U and NX.
Yeah.
Which, makes sense. I mean, again, we have no word on when NX is coming out, so Lord knows which is going to come out first, the NX or this game. But regardless,
that is true.
But regardless, they did say that this is coming out for the Wii U, and it will be showing up on the NX. So whichever comes first.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, even before E3, word has been going around that they intend on officially releasing the Nintendo NX like sometime in March of 2017. But yeah, you're absolutely right, Danny. Even with that, it's really at a point of like which will come out first, the NX or the Zelda game.
Right, and it's like, well, if the NX is going to be coming out that soon, then yeah, we'll probably be getting the console before we get the new Zelda.
Yeah.
Yeah, but suffice it to say, I mean, my God, I am really, really impressed with what they're showing. I mean, it's like they're taking a lot of chances and everything because they are doing so many things different, but I really like the approach.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, it's like, yeah, there's so many things that you can do, like, that can fuck it up, where it's like, okay, we're going to take it in this direction, but it's just so ill-suited, and it just doesn't work, or they just do a really bad job of it. Case in point, fucking Sonic Boom.
Okay, let's...
It's like, it's like, okay, interesting direction, but the execution was piss poor.
Yeah.
I think we've stressed our point about this game by now.
I know. But yeah, it's like, so yeah, like I said, Nintendo, take all the time that you need, seeing what you guys have been planning and everything. It's like, I would rather you take your time and really flesh this out and really try and make this as damn near perfect as possible. Even if it takes you a couple of years, I can wait, just because of how huge this game is going to be.
Alright, but in which case, though, do you two have anything else you want to talk about in regards to Zelda?
Not really. I mean, you all... Nintendo themselves and you guys pretty much hit the nail on the head, so... I think we've talked about all we need to talk about in regards to Zelda.
Okay, well, in that case, I have to ask, seeing as how, once again, I had to miss, pretty much the majority of the Nintendo Treehouse because of work. So, was there anything else that was revealed during the Nintendo Direct?
There were no reveals. They were only talking about games that we already knew about that's going to be coming out this summer, this year, and they just went into more details in regards to them.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they didn't bring a whole lot of new things or anything
Right.
It pretty much was it was Zelda front and center. That's pretty much what it was.
The only other bonus stuff that they talked about during Nintendo was Paper Mario Color Splash, Monster Hunter Generations, what else? Mario Party Star Rush.
Oh, okay, yeah, I was gonna ask you guys about that. Yeah, so, okay, yeah, there's a new Mario Party again, called Mario Party Star Rush, which, oh yeah, fun fact, if you look at the artwork that they show with Mario, Luigi, Toad, and Peach for the Star Rush logo, they actually took that from, an actual thing of Campbell's soup.
Yeah, I remember. Twitter was blowing up about that.
Yeah, that was
Nintendo Inquirer, Nintendo News, Amiibo alerts. They all posted about that.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of Amiibo, I'm sorry. What the hell is this with adding more Super Mario Amiibo to the line?
Yes, we're finally
more.
Yeah, we're finally getting Waluigi and Daisy Amiibos.
Well, not just those two.
I know.
We're getting new Rosalina. We're getting Wario, a new Diddy Kong and Donkey Kong, and fucking Boo of all characters.
Which the only unique thing and the unique thing about the Boo Amiibo is that it glows in the dark.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You didn't know that?
Well, no, I didn't. I came home from work. And I see on Twitter by the way, the Wario, Boo, and Donkey Kong amiibo are all out. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
New amiibo? The fuck?
Yeah, the Boo amiibo glows in the dark. And yeah, I knew there were more amiibos than just Waluigi and Daisy. I just know Waluigi and Daisy were the two amiibo that a lot of people wouldn't shut up about.
Yeah.
Surprisingly,
I
seeing as
would
how the
imagine...
Waluigi and Daisy amiibos, as of right now, last time I checked, they're still up for pre-order on Amazon. Yeah, Boo, Wario, and Diddy Kong and Donkey Kong, those guys are sold out right now.
Yeah, well, that's like right now. I would imagine if BJ was here and everything, like, oh yeah, BJ would be geeking out over the Daisy amiibo.
Yeah,
you know,
I know exactly because this guy, every single time we talk about amiibo, he is always wishing for a Daisy amiibo. So I was stoked when I saw a legit Daisy amiibo up for pre-order. So it's like, BJ, buddy, if you haven't gotten the news and have the money and ability to do so, pre-order that shit right now.
You realize he's never gonna shut up about this now. You realize that, right?
No, it's like he'll end up buying like every Daisy amiibo in the stores.
Great.
No, not like no. I don't think BJ will be the kind of guy to pull off the Mario to Plumber bullshit.
All right, let's not.
No, see Mario to Plumber, he was just doing that to try and make a quick buck. No, BJ, he would use the Daisy amiibos. And that's where it's like, all right, I maxed out this Daisy amiibo, so let's bring out the next one.
Anyway.
I am all set for this Star Rush. Bring it on.
Like,
oh my god!
I'm still waiting for more information on Star Rush because there's some things about that game that I am actually curious about. Because all they showed us in regards to Star Rush is the one mode that isn't actually the main mode of Star Rush. They just showed us like I don't know what mode they called it, but it was essentially, it seems like it's going to be reminiscent to classic Mario Party in some way. Only major difference is it's not a turn-based board thing anymore. Everybody moves at the same time, which is something new and different for the Mario Party series. But I don't know if that alone is going to save what has been lowering the quality of Mario Party games as of recently. So I'm just waiting to hear more information about this. I mean, it's different. It's a nice start, I guess, but we need more, just so I can know if they're actually going in the right direction with this one.
Right.
And then there was Paper Mario Color Splash, the one game which everyone dubbed Sticker Star 2, which got a lot of people really upset, myself included. But I don't know. Around the end, apparently people were changing their minds about Color Splash because, aside from the fact that Color Splash looks really good so far, like visual-wise, it looks like a really good game. But my problem with Sticker Star, as well as everyone else's problem with Sticker Star before Color Splash came around, was how the battle system how the battle system worked in Sticker Star, where basically it played by these stickers that you had to use for battle. And if you ran out of stickers at any point in time, that was pretty much a game over. It made everyone so upset because you took away you're basically limiting Mario's only option of attacking, which he didn't have a limit in other Paper Mario games, but the fact that he had a limit in Sticker Star, and it could cause you to game over if you didn't have enough stickers, or the right stickers for certain battles, that it got a lot of people upset. Like, agreeably upset is what I meant to say. And it seems like they're doing the same thing for Color Splash, which, again, got a lot of people upset. But it seems like they're doing something different with the battle system this time around, something a little bit different that isn't as flawed as in Sticker Star. So whatever this is, whatever got everyone's minds to change about this game, I'm hoping Color Splash at least fixes what was wrong with Sticker Star. If you're going to keep the battle system, fine. That's perfectly fine. But fine-tune it to where it doesn't make it a garbage battle system like in Sticker Star.
Alright.
I mean, I want to give Color Splash a chance. I really do. But if they don't change a few things in regards to how it was in comparison to Sticker Star, there's going to be problems. And a lot of people are going to be agreeably upset. Like, even more so than they were with Sticker Star, I would imagine. So, here's hoping.
Okay.
It's like another interesting thing that I saw about Color Splash that, well, did get my attention is, like, the Koopalings are actually making their debut in a Paper Mario game.
What? Really?
Yeah, they are. During the gameplay demo of Color Splash, they actually showed that Morton is a boss character in Color Splash, which means we're probably going to be seeing the rest of the Koopalings later down the line too.
Oh, so what? So you mean to tell me that I can see my boy Iggy in a Paper Mario game? Thank you, God.
So again, it looks like they're doing some things right. But at the same time, it looks like they're still following up with some things that was wrong with the last Paper Mario game. So again, I don't want to sound like a broken record at this point. So I'm just praying that this game actually does well. I want to believe that this game will do well.
Right. One thing with Nintendo that honestly took me by surprise, because I could have sworn this game was going to come out like later down the road, like later this year, was a Rhythm Heaven Mega.
Yeah, they showed that off too.
Yeah, it's like, did they show like a live demo for that game too?
Yeah, and they also went on to say that at the end of that showcase for Rhythm Heaven Mega Mix, the game is out now, and you can play the demo right now.
Which like I said, just from that, that honestly took me by surprise when I noticed that Nintendo uploaded the official launch trailer for it. Because, I remembered, I think, I basing this, I believe they talked about this, like, during the last Nintendo Direct they did, which was, like, last November or whatnot. And, they were saying that, I believe they say it was gonna come out, like, later, like, this fall or whatnot, I think. But then it's like, oh, hey, guess what? This game is now available exclusively on the Nintendo eShop.
Yeah, there's no retail version. You gotta download it directly.
Hey, you know what? I'm perfectly okay with that.
Yeah, it's only $30 too. So.
Oh, is it? So what? $29.99?
Yeah.
Well, okay. I guess considering like all the content that they are throwing in there for a Rhythm Heaven remix. That seems like a fair price. I mean, you're getting like a lot of selected rhythm games from the first Rhythm Heaven game on the DS. You're getting a lot of selections from Rhythm Heaven Fever. You're getting a lot of or I shouldn't say a lot. I think quite a selected few games that was released from the Game Boy Advance version of Rhythm Heaven, which was only released in Japan. And then there are these new mini games like exclusively for Megamix. So it's like for like over 70 rhythm mini games and whatnot. I think $30 is well worth the price.
Yeah, I definitely want to try and get my hands on it. I tried the demo and I had a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, I definitely need to get my hands on that too. Question is exactly when.
Yeah. They've also got a demo coming out for Monster Hunter Generations, which is coming out for everybody on the 30th. But as of right now, I believe you have to be a My Nintendo member to get access to this. But Nintendo is going to be randomly distributing early access demo codes of Monster Hunter Generations to people who own 3DSs so that they can try out the game for themselves before it comes out July 15th. So...
Oh my god. You know what? It's actually kind of sad, really, because I completely forgot that the whole My Nintendo was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of did.
Yeah,
too.
they also I actually found this out recently as well, but because of the whole E3 thing and that they showcased Monster Hunter Generations, you can actually Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate is on sale on the eShop right now, and you can get it for only $20. If you have, and again, to those of you who didn't know, if you have Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate save data on your 3DS and you buy Generations, you can actually get some exclusive bonus content on Generations if you have that save data on your 3DS. And Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, as of right now, is on sale. So if anyone out there was interested in the Monster Hunter series and wants to give it a try, aside from the demo that's going to be coming out soon for everybody, if you didn't already get an early access demo code through email, you can buy Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate right now for only $20. Give it a try and hold on to that save data for when Generations comes out. If you like 4 Ultimate, you'll definitely like Generations. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Oh, but with that, was there anything else in particular that you guys wanted to bring up in regards to the Nintendo Treehouse event?
The only other thing that I want to mention in regards to the Nintendo thing is Nintendo's got a new IP coming out for the 3DS.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a new RPG called Ever Oasis. and it's. I wish I could remember exactly what they were talking about in terms of how the game works and everything, but I wish I could remember the protagonist's name. But it's basically another RPG where the setting takes place in the desert. You meet this water spirit. I forget her name, but you basically have her, and you find other resources everywhere to like basically build shops, build a town, and stuff like that. And I don't know exactly what they were going on in regards to the actual story. I may have to actually look back at the showcasing for that game just to see. But it looked really interesting. I think anyone who's a big fan of RPGs will find some interest in this game. I know a lot of people were actually they were actually getting giddy over this game, and I can kind of see why. It does look very interesting.
All right.
Yeah, other than that, though, I don't think there's really much else to talk about in regards to Nintendo.
So what? They didn't talk about like anything else in regards to Tokyo sessions.
Oh no, they did. You're right, they totally did. But it wasn't stuff that was like completely new or stuff that we didn't already know about. They basically just showed off more of how the game mechanics and stuff is going to work. It is definitely Fire Emblem and Persona heavy. So,
oh right, I kind of had a feeling because of the big FE.
Well, no, that's not entirely what I mean. Just in terms of
right, just in terms of the gameplay.
The gameplay, the character interactions. Actually, one interesting thing that they showed off in regards to Tokyo Mirage Sessions is the way that you get new skills and the way that you can actually forge new weapons and stuff for your character. That's all done through Tiki. Yeah, Tiki, Fire Emblem character. Like, yeah.
Okay.
Anyone who's played Awakening will know who Tiki is. But yeah, Tiki plays a pretty big part in the game.
Oh. Tiki was in the original Fire Emblem.
I say Fire Emblem Awakening just because I'm pretty sure if anyone who would want to get interested in the Fire Emblem series would probably start with Awakening.
Right.
Considering all the other Fire Emblem games were either hard to find or just no one had access to unless it was through emulation.
Right.
But yeah, I really do like how they're going about with the Tokyo Mirage Sessions in terms of the gameplay and stuff. Like we see Chrom in action. We see some other characters through other series of the Fire Emblem games, not just Awakening, but Tharja is there.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh my God! Really?
Yeah.
Tharja's been confirmed.
I know. I'm just speaking up for the people who weren't keeping up with this game much, but they showed a lot of the character interactions and stuff throughout the Nintendo Treehouse or Nintendo Minute when they were talking about the game. So I mean, I'd more so say if you want a more in-depth feel of what we're talking about, just go check out the video for yourself. It really is worth your time. Okay. Now, other than that, I think we've pretty much covered everything that we need to talk about in regards to Nintendo, or want to talk about.
Alright. So, yeah, as Brandon just said, yeah, I think with that will pretty much cover everything that the three of us wanted to talk about in regards to this year's E3. So, with that, thank you guys so much for listening in on our initial thoughts on this year's E3, whether you were just listening on particular conferences that interest you, or if you stuck around for the entire thing, we greatly appreciate you guys sticking around. So yeah, from all of us here on the Spiffy Needle Geeks, once again, we greatly appreciate you guys listening in, and we will see you guys in the next video. Good night, everybody.